fine. We've been live on Facebook this whole time too. So hi to Facebook.
Hi to our
Normally you're
Facebook
the
at home.
ones that miss chunks of the race, but
Facebook, tell us what the best toppings on burgers are.
oh my gosh. And we're back.
Toppings on burgers.
Shh, YouTube doesn't know about that.
No.
Thanks for coming back on DriversEye Live, the World Racing League powered by Hagerty. Brendan Kesmarek, Justin Woodrock, JT Tammy. Scott doesn't get any credit because he's down getting food.
We joined by our special guest tonight, Zeus. Zeus, how are things? Thanks for stopping by.
Ollie, how's the weather down there?
Bzz.
It's raining.
Thank you, John. No, Derek, I hope it doesn't kill you. I hope you stay alive and well.
Seriously, Derek, take cover.
Take
Lightning
cover,
is
Derek.
dangerous.
You cannot stay in a dugout. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. And by 1,000, I mean once. I don't even.
God.
JT's been called out.
Ha!
Thank you, Victor.
But was I right?
I love sriracha. Maybe not on pizza.
These
but
are
it
the
is
important
delicious.
questions.
A little bit of red. No, it's okay. So the thing is, red pepper flakes is not that crazy, right? So
No, it's maybe one of the
No,
most
that's
common things.
it's standard at a lot of pizza places. You have
Yeah.
the red pepper flakes, and you also have the Parmesan cheese.
They definitely like it.
they
Well, all
definitely,
right.
some of these guys.
JT,
Now that
JT is crushing it.
I'm gonna read between the lines a little bit there. I think he's throwing a little bit of shade. Is Victor? I think he's saying, yeah, some of these guys do, but they are weird, and I don't trust them. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but Daytona Beach, Florida has a 99% chance of precipitation.
So if it's some of the guys, is it like a split in the team? So it's like the 196 in GP2 doesn't like sriracha, but maybe the 195 and the 197 do in GP3. What is that?
This sounds just like Kart and IRL, the split.
Oh yeah. That's what happens all the time. Is you offer to split toppings, do like a half and half thing on a pizza, and then
That
people are
always
like,
goes
actually,
well.
I would just rather not have pizza at all.
Yep.
I think I'd actually
you're-
rather
if
have a
you're-
hamburger. That's the
Tony
split.
George wants 8 toppings on one side and 25 toppings on the other.
No. Go back to Eddie George and his part.
Tony George?
You said Eddie George at first, though.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Who's Eddie George?
The running back for the
Whoops.
Oilers/Titans.
Tony George. Maybe just why would I have said Eddie George? I have no idea.
That's
He
what
likes
I
pizza.
heard anyway.
I'm so hungry.
Tim,
Unfortunately, there's no unfortunately there's no maritime warnings to report out.
To read out, yeah.
Yeah, no active weather alerts. There is a bit outside of St. Augustine, but that's a doozy of a cell off the coast of St. Augustine. Oh, they like their fries. Oh,
They
now there's
do
an
like their
angle.
Tires. What?
Tires, my friend.
Oh, wow.
Tires. It says
I'm
tires.
having a strunk.
Because this whole comment is because they run Maxxis. That's the whole point of this. The guys who run Maxxis tires want sriracha on their pizza overnight. Heard it? They run Maxxis.
I got too much food on the brain, and so I went straight to fries. I just went straight.
Because the sriracha, no, I get it. I mean, when I worked at a
Michael.
certain restaurant place a long time ago, I would always mix sriracha with some ketchup. We
Which
kept
one of the
sriracha in our lockers.
200 was that?
This one was actually an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, there it is.
Michael
So
Fassbender has wrecked this car twice in
I-
like an hour and a half.
No!
No, he hasn't hit anything. It's just off.
Aw, he's doing a nice Tracy Cron impression.
Yeah, he sure is. How do you do that there? You idiot.
Tracy
Anyway.
Chrome
The
Bender.
switch over.
No, he never. Yeah, never went the other way. We can't
Unbelievable.
have
See,
that
that's-
race. We're gonna get in trouble.
That's easy to do.
No, it shouldn't be. Oh, there's a little bit of gravel on
Yeah,
the apex there.
just a little bit
Yeah.
too much speed in, and yeah, no, that's.
Little do-si-do, little hospital hop.
You see it a bit more with the LMP2s, but just because they don't have necessarily the same amount of mechanical
Joseph,
grip.
will you stop using the phrase "hospital hop"?
Little dee-da-do.
And Abu Dhabi do.
The mucky muck.
Ow, but okay.
What kind of pizza do you think they could get at that track?
So the
I don't know, but it
problem.
probably has egg on it. It almost certainly has
Alright,
egg
that's
on
a
it.
red flag.
The problem is, I feel like there's a transatlantic divide in terms of what pizza is considered acceptable. Because I think as soon as you come over here, I think the expectation, there's another one off. I think there's an expectation that there'd be a lot of like kind of sugar and fat and salt, and you know, you go across the other side of the Atlantic, and that is verboten. I don't know what the Italian word for forbidden is, but it's
Impossible.
It's impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah, wow, Alex,
No.
Iwasa.
You're right. Hey, cat.
The best part is when he tried that and Discord just cut out for him there.
Yeah, I thought that was lovely.
Too high pitched.
Oh, my Discord cut out?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I'll...
It got very electronic there for a second.
It was too peaky. Couldn't handle it. How much do you think Davide Valsecchi costs? Do you think we can get him for a round?
Maybe if we could. What do you think we could offer him that isn't money that would get him to do it?
About $20 in iRacing credit.
Would pizza be an inappropriate answer?
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think he'd like our pizza very much. You talk to Italian people, and they come over here and they try our pizza, and they're like, "What is this?" I'm not gonna do the accent, but they're like, "What is this?" And I think, I don't think he'd be into it. I think you'd have to give him something completely different. Like, I think you'd have to give him like, I don't know, like sashimi or something. Like, I think you'd have to just go left field with it.
Raw fish. Here,
Yeah.
Davide Valsecchi, here's some dollars and raw fish. Please
think
come
that-
help us with this amateur sports car endurance.
I think he'd
race.
appreciate it.
I'll bring bagel bites.
Perfect. Then we've
Because
got it covered.
everything that Marco Polo brought back was, had to be preserved, and so, yeah, I think he'd appreciate having some fresh food for a change. No? Okay.
No, my internet is struggling up here at the moment, and I'm not entirely sure why.
Because of all that electronic interference.
It's the disturbance in the atmosphere.
In 2006, Barrett and 9 other NASCAR drivers competed in the Jeff Bodine Bobsled Challenge, a charity race for the Bodine
remember that.
Bobsled Project. Barrett finished 3rd overall, the only driver to finish in the top 3 in the event's 2 races. So Stanton Barrett, I feel like he's got some bobsledding years in him.
I've got some bobsledding years in me.
Can we throw that up on the live stream?
I would be a pushman for Stan Barrett.
But would Stanton Barrett have you as a pushman? That's the question. Because I think he
I
could.
wouldn't have me as a pushman.
Well, there you go. A hype man,
Stanton
maybe.
Barrett and Davide Valsecchi.
Now there is a dream team.
Is this the part where we talk about Simona De Silvestro becoming a bobsled pilot?
Oh, yeah, she wasn't she?
Yeah, she's training for the 2026 Olympics.
Was it 2 women
'Cause they're
bobsled?
in the Dolomites. What?
Was it 2 women?
2-person or
Um,
or
yeah,
solo?
women are either monobob or
Skeleton. I guess that would be.
2-man.
Oh, I'm Bob
No,
Skeleton.
monobob is
Well
actually
done.
a thing, where it's just the pilot.
Huh.
So those are your options. But yeah, I think she's training because the Olympics are in, well, I think Milan, but the bobsled allegedly is going to be held in Cortina.
Why did you say allegedly? That makes it sound like it's a crime.
It's not confirmed yet.
Okay.
You
got
if Martin
the
Haven
inside
were
scoop.
here and not doing something more important, he would have opinions. Look, I don't know how many of the 40 or so people that are listening to us right now give a hoot about bobsledding, but if they don't go to Cortina for the Olympics, I will be very disappointed. The track needs a lot of renovations, but it is an awesome track.
I'd always heard about Kitzbühel, but I never actually watched a race at Kitzbühel. And I was like, this seems like a mistake. Seems like a problem. I don't know why they do that.
It's a thing. I mean, I think winter sports athletes are some of the, I don't want to say most insane people.
Dumbest people you'll ever meet.
But there is a disregard for one's safety when you willingly throw yourself off the mountain with or without apparatus. Apparatus? Apparatuses? Apparata?
Apparatids.
Parappa the Rappa?
Yeah, that's it.
Shout out to my 90s kids.
You say that, Brendan?
Man.
We are at this point, we are kind of Legion. I don't know if you know this, but we're kind of aging into that.
I know.
It's not like a fun, quirky, cute thing anymore. We're just like adults now. We might as well be talking about sweating to the oldies. That's this level of pop culture that we're at.
Oh, I'm fully aware, and I also don't care.
You know what? That's great.
The pop culture of my youth than learn anything about what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's not great.
Have you joined TikTok? Are you on TikTok?
I'm not supposed to be on TikTok.
Oh, right.
That's not really an answer.
So no,
it is. It is an answer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not on TikTok. I don't have a thing against. Like, I'm not allowed on it. But I
don't. Yeah, I don't mind the idea of. I don't think it's any different than like Twitter or Vine or Facebook or MySpace. Certainly not MySpace in terms of how insane MySpace was. I don't think people really appreciate how insane MySpace was.
No. MySpace was the first place I learned HTML.
And the last.
And the last. MySpace for WordPress.
2009 IndyCar. Do you remember? Oh, I'd forgotten that there was a time where the IndyCar series was like a DirecTV exclusive. I'd completely forgotten about that.
Oh, because of Versus?
No, because they were sponsored by DirecTV.
How to kill a series, step 1.
No kidding.
They tried.
There's an ESPN3 joke in here, I think.
The problem with ESPN3 is it was about 15 years too early. Because it was actually really good. It was really convenient.
It was, and having access to anything on replay at virtually any time you wanted was fantastic. You didn't have to worry about DVRs. You could have any event live.
It's insane that people didn't just flock to it, that it took like 10 years of...
It's got to be all about branding and marketing, right?
I know.
I mean, there wasn't a way to make it sexy then. Now everybody has. And we didn't really have casting yet as a thing. Like casting to screens, Chromecast, Roku, Apple TV.
So you were stuck on your desktop, which nobody has.
Exactly. Or you were running an HDMI cable, to
those halcyon days.
You know what? For SuperView, for the supercars, that wasn't all that long ago. because you couldn't get it to run anything other than 360p any other way.
Why I wouldn't do Super View.
Well, I would now. It's fine now.
Yeah, well, because it's through
then-
YouTube
Yeah.
or Motor Trend on Demand.
Right.
It's
is
a,
now
it's a
Motor Trend
Hagerty
Plus.
product.
Yeah, Motor Trend Plus. Get it right. I'm actually using.
But the
Hagerty
website is
product
still
at the
Motor Trend on
moment.
Demand.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Probably 'cause you
Like
can't
the
run Plus.
URL, like they haven't gotten a new domain name yet.
Yeah, no. It's still motortrendondemand.com. Since that's a Hagerty product, can we then talk about that race or no?
No,
No.
I don't think so. I think we'd still get in trouble.
But we can talk
Also,
about Hagerty and their great product
listen.
because they're a sponsor of the series.
It doesn't seem like anything interesting has happened anyway.
No, it really doesn't.
From what I read earlier, I think every car is still running.
That has to be a record.
As far as I know, they're 8.5 hours in, and every car is still running.
You remember when? It's like the polar opposite of like a J-Lock entry.
You show up, run your 2 laps, and go home.
Yeah.
We did it!
Hooray!
Rocket Sports Jaguar.
There's always one, and there just hasn't been one.
Yeah. I mean, having a spec LMP2 class probably helps because you can just, as a team, buy all the assets necessary to go racing and do it. Now, you still got to figure the car out, but it's not like your Autocon piecing together a Lola chassis and an engine, trying to make everything work and run it at the, in the top class. Like, that's not happening. Or
Yeah.
your embassy who's rebuilding.
No, and that really is the thing.
radical
Okay,
chassis or whatever.
so if we're gonna like bring it back to this, right? That is the thing that kind of it sort of neuters that race as a
Mhm.
spectacle. The same has happened with the 500, right? But that has been in
The Indy
works
500,
for
to be clear.
yes.
Yeah.
But that's been the case for 25 years, right? So that's not new. But this is my old man yelling at clouds thing is going to be remember when you could just buy an LMP chassis and put whatever engine you felt like in it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the flip side is that those cars were never super competitive.
But it was interesting.
It was very interesting, and I remember that. So I was thinking about this just the other day, in the run-up to the week, kind of recounting my own Le Mans memories of having been there. And the year 2008, there were something like 21 LMP1 cars, and they were Courage chassis with Mugen engines, and there was a Courage chassis with a Japanese university-built engine in the back of it, and you had
Zytec and
exactly the creations. LMP2 was the same way. You had Zytecs, you had Embassies, you had Lolas, coupes, and open tops. I mean, there's just the variety. It was almost a mathematical impossibility that you would have teams running the same combination of engine and chassis.
right.
And a number of those teams were just straight up building their own chassis or building their own bodywork.
Yeah,
for a
I think that's
chassis.
the thing, and I don't know if it's because some of the money has dried up, or, a lot of the manufacturers are not there anymore. Obviously,
Well, when the
Lola's
money
gone,
dries up, you want
Swift
to
is
make
gone.
when the money dries up, you want to make being competitive more affordable, right?
Reynard is
Okay?
gone.
So you don't have to invest millions to get your
No,
car up to speed.
So where I was going with that is, it just feels like everything has gotten so just safe. It just financially. I understand that
Yeah.
it has to be, right? I get that, but it means that nobody does anything fun. Now Scott is going to come back and say Glickenhaus, and that's
I was
fine.
just going to very reluctantly admit that.
Yeah, and so there's something to that, but you can't do it. You are verboten from doing that in LMP2 now. You can't really do it in GTE because the homologation process is so.
Yep.
There's nowhere to do it, and I'm gonna come back to WRL, right?
Good.
We have a car in the field that is running a BMW, and they've for some reason LS swapped it. I don't fully understand why, but I'm glad that they did.
Right. Yeah.
Just to make it better.
Yeah.
Can I offer just a brief Glickenhaus take? I want to put this out there on the record.
Oh, okay.
Jim Glickenhaus building his own prototype and then complaining about the balance against hybrid hypercars and saying that it's not on a level playing field is absolutely no different than Henri Pescarolo building his own prototype and complaining about the balance against the diesels. There's fundamentally no difference there.
But
Yeah, I don't like either of those guys.
That's fair. That is fair, but the people who sing the praises of Le Mans legends and stuff, and rightly so, and then gloss over the fact that they spent years complaining about the fact that they couldn't be competitive against factory cars, and then in the next, not the next breath, but those same people with the same outlook then, bemoan Jim Glickenhaus for being a pain in the butt and doing things the way that he's done them, and then complaining that he can't run a competitive car even though he's built it to the regulations, which are there to keep cars competitive, and saying that there's something wrong with the way we're balancing cars. There's no difference between those things. And you can't have one and not the other. Either they're both wrong for complaining about it, or they're both right for bringing attention to the fact that, hey, maybe we don't have this correct.
There was such a short window in which Pescarolo was actually building his own chassis, though. He was always a customer entry.
2006 through...
That's basically a Courage, right?
Oh, the tub was always a Courage. But everything else built up around it was his. I mean, even the ARX, the early ARX was the LMP2 car. That was a C60 tub. So was the LMPC car, C60 tub. The Orica 01, I think, was a C60.
65, wasn't it? C65.
60, it was a common tub, I think. I think that they all shared the same
just
tub.
with different bodywork.
Yeah, exactly.
Might have been. But even the later effort, which was the abandoned AMR one, is that right? Pescarolo 07 or whatever it was.
So the oath. Oh boy, man, here we go. I forgot that they did that. So they did it once. Who ran the dome? The narrowed up dome.
Question. The S102.
Yeah, and then the S102.5. That wasn't Pescarolo, right? Or was
Correct.
it?
No, that was not. Pescarolo, they briefly ran a Peugeot.
Yeah, but that was 2010. But Joseph's right. They ran a Pescarolo 03, which was just, I think it was just the AMR1. Oh, man. This is really stretching my memory. Actually, fairly dull era of Le Mans.
Well, they're running an AMR1, so that means it's going to break down a lot.
Act as a successor to the Pescarolo 01, with the design including the shark fin along with extractor holes located in the wheel arches, but it was the AMR1 chassis that was rebuilt up to be the new Pescarolo, and man, was it ugly.
We're losing viewers, guys. We need to switch back to pizza.
No, they did run the S102.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 2012.
Oh, the green thing.
They ran the one coupe and the one open top.
So I really liked the look of the AMR one. I thought it was, I mean, like, it's not a good looking car, but it's a weird looking car.
Yeah.
And I like that. So it was a shame that it never
If we
really
are
worked.
losing viewers, then maybe we should bring it back to WRL. But you did mention, Joseph, and you rightly made the point that, this is one of the few places where you can do weird things and just show up with something that meets a baseline regulation, and how you get there is actually not super relevant.
No,
systems.
And by the same token, like, we are experiencing to some degree that same
convergence.
Yes, on a single clever answer. Thank you. Or on a single safe answer, or hey, BMW M4, really solid car, the GT4 car. Everybody that's running it is running it well. It's competitive week in and week out. Setup seems to be a pretty wide window. All really good things. And I hope that we don't get to the point where that is the only answer left in GTO. To this point, it hasn't been. It hasn't been.
But it is a worrying trend for me as an enthusiast, right? I mean, if it works for the teams, it works for the teams, right? But you hate to see a class basically turn into a a de facto spec class. I
Well-
don't think we're at risk of that per se,
No,
but I like
certainly not with the amount of depth that we've got.
sure.
Part of the issue, too, and it's not a problem as such, but you've currently got and it's this way in a lot of series that run up to and including this level, SRO, Pilot Challenge, right? You've got teams that are renting seats to drivers and amateur drivers that are always going to be more comfortable and more likely to succeed in a plug-and-play environment, right? These aren't people who are building up cars themselves because they love cars and then they want to go take it to the track and they want to race it and they want to iron out all the kinks and go through all the teething issues that these cars always have and then make it competitive, right? And start winning races with it. There's not as much enthusiasm for that at the driver level, and the teams are more likely to tailor their situation or their offerings to what is going to sell and what is going to work for those drivers. And the plug-and-play style of GT4, which now may even exclude TCR because it's a high-powered front-wheel drive car, and that in that way is kind of an odd choice for somebody that doesn't spend a lot of time racing. I just wonder if that is an inevitable progression and has always been an inevitable progression.
I
for
think
teams that aren't like Screaming Goat, where they have
I think it's. I'll tell you something that throws me for a loop perennially is the fact that it doesn't bother me that people are leaning on cars that have been sold for GT4 running. That doesn't bother me, to be honest, much at all. I know that I know some people get kind of upset about it because it's not a homebrew and this sort of thing. I think for a lot of people should be a homebrew series. I understand that position. That's not necessarily my position. What I am struggling to wrap my head around constantly is the fact that we have almost exclusively, like, we don't have any other GT4s in the series. There's the Cayman, and then the 718, and then there's the M4, and we really don't see too many other GT4s, and I don't know if that's just
the Mustang a couple of times, right? From Core, I think back in Mid-Ohio, or Ford Performance Racing School, one of those two.
Yeah.
The Audi was allegedly not a GT4 car, right?
Yeah, and so I don't have a good sense of, is that because of the max ballast
we have
that
the
you
Aston
can put on?
Martins, the previous gen.
The Astons, okay. I don't,
But they're older. I mean, those cars are from 2012, 2014.
I know, but it's what I'm talking about is you have this proliferation of GT4s that are from a very specific spec of GT4, this 2018 through 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Gen.
Yep.
And there are other GT4s are available, right? There's the Supra that's come out. Now, I don't know if it's maybe a function of there just aren't that many that are available secondhand. But I think a couple of these are basically from the factory, aren't they?
Here's the question. How many of those other GT4 cars are running in the hands of true privateers, right? Without support or...
No, I think that's fair.
Incentivization.
The Supra is a
factory.
The Supra is a bad example, right? Because that's a Riley car. And so that's mostly going to be run by teams affiliated with Riley and with Toyota. Fair enough. But we haven't seen too many cars that are built to TCR spec other than the Audi. We saw the was the Veloster?
No, the VW. Yeah. The Veloster we saw at Coda, and then the VW at Road America.
So we know that there's a few that are out there for running, but know, I don't know if it's that running in WRL requires too much optimization, and so the M4 is just a better platform for that.
And to be clear here, I mean, we still have the general production classes, right, where you can't just go out and buy a race car, right? Those, by definition, have to be built up from a mass-produced road-going car.
But you can see from the entry list where the demand is, right?
Sure, and they there is still some convergence there. You know, you have MX-5 Cup cars of previous generations. You've got BMW 3 Series, you know, whether it's M or not. And so there is still some drive there towards similar types of solutions. The Boxsters, right? For a long time, the Boxsters were super, super competitive in GP2 and GP3. They've got a bit long
Yes.
in the tooth, and now
Well,
we've moved away from that a little bit. But I just am sort of longing for a motorsport culture at a
now,
level that is worth promoting, that is less likely to trend in that single solution type of direction.
yeah, so I know I've asked the question before about, like, you know, why are we seeing so many MX-5s? Why aren't we seeing as many BR86s and et cetera, et cetera? And the answer to that was it's just the aftermarket isn't as broad, isn't as plentiful as it is for the MX-5. So that doesn't surprise me. I mean, is that the answer in the general production area? Is that it's just there are so many parts that are available for 330s and for MX-5s, and so of course that's what people are going to run because that's what they can find. Particularly, I mean, does it turn into a supply chain issue? Is it where,
No,
you
it
know,
turns into a running cost issue because as these
mm,
parts are consumed and replaced, I mean, that is all factored into your hourly or mileage type of cost.
I would say age definitely also plays a role.
Sure, we just
If you
talked about
look at
that with the Boxsters.
yeah, so like the Boxers, you're seeing a lot of around, late 90s, early 2000s. That's the same with, a bunch of the Miatas. A bunch of the BMWs are, E46 chassis, which are, 2002 to 2004 or 5. So I think that's what you see with a lot of the production class. I mean, the Lexus, those are from like what, 2001? We'll see the Honda Accord, or we'll see the Pressure Tech Porsche, or
Yeah,
whatever. For the most part, we don't see a lot of newer builds, especially like GP2 or GP3, unless it's like a new Cup car for MX-5 or an FRS or a Honda Civic. But for the most part, it's older cars.
I think there is another issue that I don't know that we have the credentials to dive into, or it's worth diving into.
it's never stopped us before.
Yeah, we should move
But
on to more
this-
important things, right?
No,
Like
no, no,
pizza.
no, no. This is not as cheap a hobby at the entry level as it used to be. And I think that's
No, that's
probably
true.
true of most things. So the days of being able to buy, and this is arguably where crap can endurance racing kind of came into its own in the late 2000s, was as racing got more and more expensive, even at club levels like the SCCA or in NASA, where you had to start spending more and more just to be competitive, or to get a car safe enough, to be on track, in your class. That now you had a way to go out and spend, or to be limited on how much you could spend, right? You could run that type of car with more or less a fixed budget, spread the cost around with your buddies, and do some really cool, really impressive stuff, where the cost was more or less defined and the competition's cost
I
was more or
think
less defined.
there's
And
I don't
now I don't know that there's as much appetite for that. I think people have just started to accept the fact that racing is an expensive hobby, and if you want to do it and you want to do it at a meaningful level, you're just going to have to spend the money to do it.
well, not just that, but the number of teams that are, I think, reasonably, this isn't a slight, but the number of teams that have gone the arrive and drive route, I think you picked up on this a little bit when we were talking about the GTO situation. It discourages you from putting weird parts on the car, right? You're not going to make
Yeah.
you're not going to take a wild swing on dampers or whatever, and you're not going to take a wild swing on an engine if you know that. That's the thing that the Scream and Go guys can do, right? Because they all know each other. They're all buddies. They can take swings at that, and if it doesn't work out, then, well, we all knew the risk. We all knew that there was a chance it wouldn't pay out. You can't really do that with a customer focused entry. You can't do that with guys that are paying for the
No,
weekend, because
absolutely
you
not.
have an obligation to them to deliver a reliable product. And it's as we see more and more entries go that route, and you don't see as many. You do see some. I get the sense that Overnight is one of those outfits that is kind of mostly dudes that know each other. I don't mean to speak for them out of turn, but Three Fast Guys and Denny. I assume it's more or less the same three guys and the same Denny. But
It is, yeah.
but that's not the entire grid, and so it drives those teams to do, to play it safe. And I'm again, that's not a slight. I think that's a reasonable strategy, but it does change the composition of the classes, because you're not necessarily doing presser tech things all the time. You're not putting weird engines into cars that weren't designed to have them. It changes things a little bit.
I wish there were a world where we could still, be creative, and you could be rewarded for being creative. I just don't know that is sort of the culture of motorsports at the moment. Here or further afield.
Well, it's increasingly turning into a luxury sport, right?
It is, and that's what I was saying
Yeah.
earlier about the costs having gone up. Like, you just now sort of have to accept that, hey, racing's an expensive hobby, and if you want to do it well and at a meaningful level, you're just going to have to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a good time on track, that's one thing. You can do that in this series. Even in this series, you can do that for, a couple of grand. Depending on the
It's a
team
good
you wanna
place
go run.
to.
But you can
Yeah.
also, if you want to chase a championship, even just a regional championship, you do it in one of the best teams, the fastest teams, the most expensive teams. You could drop $100 grand doing that.
Sure.
You know,
And if that's what you want to do, then terrific. I'm thrilled to have guys that are willing to do that.
Sure, and that has its own benefits and merits, right? Almost anybody at an accessible level can put some money down and spend a weekend driving a race car around some iconic venues, and that absolutely has a place, and it's why the WRL has taken off the way that it has. It's why GTO has taken off the way that it has, because it allows people who are willing to spend the money, or people who have cars built up and are just those kind of cars that pull their money together, like, hey, we're going to do something awesome. GTO has become that, and it's why those things exist that they do. But you are being less and less rewarded for being creative, and are just sort of, everybody's now ending up with an M4 GT4.
But we do have people who are, we do still have those cadres of people that are going out, and it's just their own thing, and they're just doing it because.
Yeah, and that deserves to be celebrated.
Yeah, for sure. It's we will openly question weird decisions, but again, I'm happy that they exist. I am the Screaming Goat situation is really interesting, and I mean they told us their explanation, right? It's a cost savings thing. It hasn't worked out here, but you can follow the logic of it. That's a homebrew car, and so you can kind of do whatever you like there. That's the freedom of it, and it's the freedom to shoot yourself in the foot at the same time.
Yeah, to be clear, you could probably do that with an M4 chassis if you wanted. Pull the engine out and just build the thing back up from scratch. You wouldn't get very far with it, and
The
BMW
problem with
probably wouldn't be very
doing-
happy. But there's nothing to say you have to run that car as homologated in GTO, is my point.
That's true, but
There's
I would
no
also
homologation.
there's no homologation, but there is potentially a resale at the end of that road, right? So you
Of
can't
course,
do
I'm not saying it's a
anything.
good business decision.
No, well, what I'm saying is that's going to be part of it, right? Someone who's making the business decision of buying a GT4 is probably not going to do something that's irreversible to it.
Yes, I'm more looking at this from the perspective of is there anything holding you back, right? It's not Pilot Challenge where you've got to run a homologated
Right.
GT4 car with the IMSA BOP, or in a world where GTO only allowed GT4s and TCRs, right? Then you would have to mandate homologation and all of those things. That doesn't exist here. People are running the GT4s, changing them. Tim Myers down at Hammer with the TCRs last year did all kinds of little tricks to those cars to get them more competitive against, the other cars that ran 9-1 on power to weight, and he found
But it
ways
took time to
make
get to
car
that
better.
point, right? It took a
That
lot
wouldn't
of
have
that.
been. Yeah,
That
and
didn't
those
ve-
weren't Audi solutions.
right.
You know, so I GTR 99.
Yeah.
Look at the aero work they've done on that car. That car doesn't sit or sort of present itself as an M4 GT4. The bones are, the engine is,
Mhm.
right? But the rear wing on that car is lower and slung back and bigger. You know, you can Thunder Bunny with the M2 has done some work to the rear aero of that car. And that is repeated in other places down the paddock, which is great. You know? So it's not like you can't do these things.
Sure.
It is just maybe less
It's less common.
valuable
Yeah.
depending and is going to do less for you depending on your business situation. You know. And those little modifications, they shouldn't be passed over as not being meaningful. You know, just because GTR is running their M4 GT4 doesn't mean it's the same as all the other M4 GT4s, and the M2 Club Sports are all the same as the other
Right.
M2 Club Sports and whatever. Yeah, so I would like to see some truly insane things in the future, but chill out. Great example.
Yeah, obviously, chill
More
out
of
is
that.
exactly what came to mind when you said that. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this. Even in general production, look at the new PC car, which is just the old choice car, right? It's an 8-speed. What was the transmission they put in that? Was it just 8-speed paddle shift?
I'll take
What
your
do they
word
call
over
it? Was
mine.
it DSG? I don't remember. Yeah, they did this at Road America. Anyway, they were breaking that in up at Road America in a general production car, but they're choosing to do these things and to, you know, be fun and creative about it. Even though it's a BMW M3, it's not like all the other BMW M3s. So,
Right.
These things do exist elsewhere in the field, even if not necessarily.
Well,
all across the
GTU
top
is a
of the
great
scale.
example of an experimental class, right?
Sure.
You know, none of those cars. So the 58 and the 59 are effectively, as wild as this is to say, they're effectively works cars. And the other three, the 84, the 6, and the 555 are running completely different specs, right? So it's you know, we kind of half call it the NPO1 class, and it is superficially, but all those cars are different from each other. Until this year, the 58 and the 59 weren't even running the same spec, as far as I'm aware.
Which two cars?
58 and 59.
58, I don't think participated last year.
It did briefly. It ran a couple events, I'm pretty sure.
Actually don't know. I didn't think it did. I thought the 58 was new for this year. The paint schemes definitely are. But I mean, you're not
Oh, you might be right.
incorrect. Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
When did they run?
There.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Maybe. Okay. Maybe I was thinking back at NOLA. It was an older car, and they've since updated it.
I think.
No, it ran. Oh, just kidding. That's Stratus generally. So okay, I'll take that.
Part of the thing with the NPO ones is that car is, I don't want to say it's balanced on a knife edge, but it is meant to run. When you build an aero solution for a car, it is very difficult to do things that are that efficient to a car that is already that efficient, that aren't going to mess other things up, right? So it's not like you can just whack a new diffuser on there or whack a bigger rear wing on there or something like that.
Because now you've
that
shifted your balance all the way rearward.
Exactly, and you've done all of these things to the car, and it's going to behave nothing like you want it to unless you have the resources to do it properly and or do it from scratch.
Now, presumably, some of these teams are working with, you know, maybe you've got something like Car Sim or something. You know, you're probably not going straight blind.
Yeah, and you see some of these things in the old like C Sports Racer and D Sports Racer where somebody will buy at a store or whatever and they just whack some new bodywork on it and go for it.
Yeah.
Right? Some home built type stuff. And that's all very cool. It's tougher to do that in the NPO1, I think. The packaging also makes it a challenge. You're not just throwing a motorcycle engine in there, you're throwing a proper engine in there. And all of that is to say, yes, GTU is a fun experiment. Unfortunately, the cards don't visually look that different. If you have the Evo kit, generally it looks all the same, but there are undoubtedly tweaks going on underneath the bodywork that are making a difference. And I'm grateful to Billy down in the Racer Motors crew that, we've got Scott's connection with him that kind of gives us a little more insight into what they're doing and what Stratus might be doing and the little tweaks that actually do give GTU some variety that we might not otherwise see because externally anyway, those cards are pretty much identical.
Yeah, when you hear about everything that they've done in terms of tweaking the bodywork and I believe they've played with some of the innards too. I don't think it's just a bodywork thing. When you hear about some of those things, it's it's honestly, to be frank, the kind of information that I wish we had more of from the entire paddock. It's we try to do that with the text message service. Should we? We could call out what that text message service is right now. Brendan, if you still exist. Okay, Brendan does not still exist. I believe the number is 321-366-7139.
Do we want to send out that number?
Oh, it's fine. We'll just register a new number if it gets hijacked.
I like it when we do it when he's not here. Oh,
that's fine. Yeah, it's not that crazy. And it's also not even a SIM card, I don't think. So, whatever. 11 hours into a race, what are you going to do? We don't have any active weather alerts, which is good, I think.
Yeah, we just got to wait for this timer to hit 0 so we can go back to racing.
We're down to a 93% chance of precipitation. Thunderstorms during the evening will give way to partly cloudy skies after midnight. The low is 73 Fahrenheit, in case you're wondering. The winds are from the south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and the chance of rain is 90%. I would say it's actually 100%.
I like watching the the trackside cameras while you're saying, yeah, there's a 90% chance of rain.
Gabe says we should start a weather broadcast, and I wanted to do that.
We would, but our weatherman walked away.
Our weatherman walked away, and also we don't have any maritime warnings. So, what am I supposed to do with that? Now, we do have an insider source in the chat who is telling us that, I think this was about 5 minutes ago, that we had about 20 minutes to go on the clock if we didn't get any more thunder in the area.
Who's that insider source? Because I've just gone next door and asked. That was the exact answer I got. Who's Daytona Media? Now I gotta know. Are they in the room next door?
Just kind of call out. Just mute yourself and say if you're Daytona Media.
Yeah.
Just wave.
The word I got was approximately 20 minutes. The concern, however, is we're gonna run this out. It's 18 to 20 minutes. They're just gonna give about a 2 or 3 minute buffer on the backside of that, just to make sure everything's properly cleared out. But there is a cell to the north and west of here that was described as angry. That is likely to be reaching sort of the 12-mile danger zone.
Yeah, I see that, but it looked to me like it was running parallel to us, and I didn't think it was going to be a threat to us.
It doesn't on the sort of west side of the radius around us, but it looks like it would be more likely to clip the northern edge of that 8-mile radius. And obviously, it's 8 miles, it's 8
That
miles.
is,
Direction
yeah,
of travel doesn't matter.
that's like it's a
Parallel
little
doesn't
orange
matter.
and yellow blob that looks like it's kind of congealing.
So,
On the
I mean,
radar.
there is a world there where over the next, if that's, you know, what's that? That 20-mile box up on the screen here. So let's say that storm is exactly 20 miles away. First off, 20 miles could take an hour. And there's a lot of development
Because the system is moving at 20 miles an hour.
yeah, there's a lot of development or dissipation that can occur with that cell that's out there. So it sounds like they're going to make the effort, you know, once we're 20 minutes past the end of the storm here, or past the last lightning strike, to get drivers out to their cars and get set up and ready to go racing. And then kind of see where that storm is at, whether it looks like it's building or shrinking. You know, bearing in mind too here that we are, he says, pulling his trackside feed back up. 20 minutes is going to get us down to 2.5 hours to go, plus 10 minutes to get back into the cars. Green flag with about 2:15 to go. I mean, that's not a lot of time. That's pushing for 8 o'clock local.
Yeah, I mean we are getting down to the point. I think these GTOs are gonna have. Oh, I can run predictions. I can tell you. A lot of them are only gonna have, even at this point, are only gonna have 2 stops to do at the most.
At most 2. And if you get down to 2 hours even, then you're talking about, you know, pit stop strategy there for one more stop. GTR, in their situation, you know, could be looking really, really good, instead of just looking really good like they are now. It's still raining, so there are still these little variables that can set themselves up for the end of the race. But the longer we have to wait here, the less interesting I think the end of the race is likely to pan out. And I
Don't
think
say that.
Kinda,
the more
no,
interesting it's gonna be.
Everybody's just kind of, I think, itching to get going, but
Yeah.
there's not the
It's a tough situation, right? I mean, it's
doesn't feel like it's here. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't. I mean, that's the thing is, there's nothing you can't work this out in a driver briefing, right? Like, there's no, we have no control over this whatsoever. This it can't be a league thing. It, you know, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, there is something to say. Hey, you know, when we go back to racing, we are going to be on a wet track. It might still be raining.
Yeah.
It might be transitioning to dry. It might be doing it slowly because we're now fully under the lights. You know, it could be a really tricky end to the race. That brings with it its own. You know, are we going to have full course yellows? Are they willing to do hot poles on a wet track? Like, there's just so many unknowns coming into the last part of the race, and they're all on hold at the moment because we have to wait out this storm and knowing that there's a potential of another one to come.
I'm gonna choose to
Out of
believe that's not
curiosity,
gonna hit us.
No, I'm hopeful, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Do you know what time this red flag started, Joseph?
I can find that for you.
Yeah.
So the full course yellow that preceded it came out at 5:27. The red flag itself came out at 5:33.
So for all intents and purposes, we're at an hour and 45.
Basically, we're an hour and
On
45
top
since the
of
first
the
strike.
2.5 we had earlier? Is that what it ended up being?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, 2:15, something like that. So we're getting on for 4 hours of stoppage. Is that right?
It's kind
5
of, yeah,
4
yeah.
hours. Yeah, 4 hours. Yeah.
The thing that's interesting is that there were strategy moves that were made in between the first strike and the red flag.
Oh yeah. I mean, you've got to stay plugged in. There's no question about it. You know, talk your way through it. Set yourself up for these, you know, contingencies. If we go back green at this time, we got to bring the car in, or we shouldn't bring the car in. We should do tires. Hey, we got to put wets on because our tires aren't going to be any good in these conditions. Or hey, the tires might last. The track's going to dry out. Like, you've got to run through these contingencies now and build yourself a plan towards the end of the race. but like we've mentioned now a couple of times, there are just so many of those variables that you can't plan and pinpoint everything the way that you otherwise might be able to when you have a countdown timer running and your car's out there circulating. And certain times are going to suit some teams better than others. We get a Delta 7.3 taking off in the background of that.
I was going to say, planes are taking off again. That seems like a good sign.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, they're departing to the northwest, right? So, or the southwest, I guess. It's 2-5.
Well, still, they're out there.
Sure, but the weather's past them is my point, right? They're departing away from the cells. It passed over the field, so that is promising. Certainly, that's where the weather is coming from. So, clearing skies in that direction. That cell that's to the south and west there is just now starting to encroach on that 20-mile box. 20 square mile box.
Don't give it any ideas, Brendan.
No.
Thank you. Yeah, is this the stuff that is... This is the stuff that's making its way... It's going to, like, skim Flagler Beach? Is this what you're talking about? Or are you talking about the stuff that's over back past Ocala? Like, it just went past Ocala?
No, this is near... It's leaving the villages headed northeast.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. But that stuff, if it builds a certain way and it builds northbound, it may miss us. If it dissipates a certain way, it may miss us. Or it might just clip us on the edge, 8, 9, 10 miles. The problem is, if that's not just a clip and go, we're going to have to wait the half hour after the storm passes again. And that waiting period might take us, for all we know, it might take us inside the last hour. The way these storms have moved and all that. Now, the good news is the later we get, the more likely these storms are to dissipate. Right? Things start to cool down. You run out of that energy in the atmosphere. Sun goes down below the horizon, and maybe we end up with
so
these storms kind of fizzling out, and we can get some actual racing going.
Yeah. So
to the end, most importantly.
Yeah. So earlier, if we looked at the forecast, it might say storms continuing through 9 p.m. I'm like, okay, well, we've been shown the proverbial 5-minute board. So this will be 5 minutes until we can start scrambling people. Here's the thing, right? Here's the practical matter. Even if that moves in, we've got to get as much running as we can in.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got this 5-minute basically notice that I think I don't see anything that suggests that we're not going to clear that. I don't think anything's close enough to...
That's 15 minutes to having cars moving again. And
yes.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Yes. So we're looking at, which means that we've had 25 minutes since our last lightning strike within an 8-mile radius of the track. Yep. Right. So this is going to, when 5 minutes expires, when we clear that window, that'll then trigger a 10-minute basically warm-up, spin-up sequence. It'll be at that 10-minute expiry that we can get cars moving and actually cycle those cars that are at the end of the pit lane back around. So it's going to be a minute yet. We've got some time before we're actually going to have cars rolling.
Yeah, that 15 minutes is kind of the target here to have cars moving again.
Yes.
The other side of this, or the other issue to contend with here, is the fact that it's
wet. Yeah. This is not gonna. It's not the same situation that we had earlier, where it just dried out before we could even begin to think about it.
The banking is fine, right? Because that is sort of naturally draining, and it is engineered to do that. The bigger issue are the aprons and the transitions off of the banking, right?
Which means turn 1 is going to be hellacious.
It's turn 1. It's the turn 6 area, which is just a very flat, open, paved area. and it'll be the transition off the banking and onto the apron down at the bus stop. Right now, we're gonna have treaded tires and all that. These cars have better ground clearance than you get on prototypes, and the issues you see like the Rolex. Scott's telling me they're concerned they may have just had another lightning strike.
Daytona Media is also concerned, which
I'm
disregard everything I just said.
I'm being given the thumbs up, and the blue light is off.
Okay. So we must have seen one off to sea, because there is a lot of activity over there.
They do have a vehicle out at turn 6. I wonder if it's a dryer, and they're going to go try and blow some of the standing water off of the apex of turn 6, so you can just see it moving its way towards the apex.
Now I don't have anything to say because I'm anticipating. I really don't know what's gonna. I'm not sure where that strike was supposed to be. Now my map is a little different than I think what the track is working off of. So I don't see what they're seeing.
No, that was from Scott. That text about another strike.
Yes, but Daytona Media in the chat said no with about 7 O's and then a lightning emoji. So I think that they were also concerned that they had seen something. But I think the answer is it must have just been a doozy of a strike, but far enough away.
Pun intended here, but they've opened the floodgates from the paddock out into the pit lane.
Have we expired 5 minutes?
I mean, they're allowing teams and drivers to come back out to their cars, so yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen anything. I'm all for it. Does pizza conduct electricity?
Is that a Google autocomplete option?
No, it's a chat question.
It
so forget the vortex. Does it create, or does it factor into the vortex theory? Just like tossing pizza dough, create a vortex around the dough that prevents it from raining around it. Like if we all just stand here, all 1,000 of us, or however many are at Daytona today, just stand there and spin pizza dough. Does that get vortex theory going?
Shipley's Donuts.
Yeah, still haven't gotten any. Although there were like 7 of them around Austin.
Okay.
I almost went last time I was there, and I just never made it.
Okay, so Yes?
Big spin at the other race.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Oh, boy, howdy.
Yeah.
So I searched, not on Google, on a different search engine. And because others are available. Does pizza conduct electricity? And the third thing I got was an article about piezo electricity.
As opposed to pizza electricity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing little homophonic search result that I was not expecting.
It just thought you were being dumb.
Thought I was an idiot, which is correct.
Spell piezo.
That's about crystals and like.
What if you add the Italian hand emoji to the end of it?
Oh, there's an idea, but now I would have to do it with my keyboard.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, I'll get it in. Oh, I wonder if no, that's not gonna work. This gets interesting fast, right? Because now it's like.
What does?
The weather situation.
Okay, yeah.
But not the pizza thing.
I wasn't sure where we were going. We're trying to get back into race mode here, but
No, because this is challenging, right? Because I'm trying to think through, is there a play here? If you think weather's gonna hit at a certain time, I don't have the expectation that even if that were to happen, that would necessarily be game over, but that's a possibility at this point.
I mean, the closer you get to the end of the race while not circulating cars, the more likely that becomes.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be shocked if we got down to the last hour and we had another strike and they said, well, it's half an hour. We got to spend 10 minutes getting drivers back to the cars.
Because
That
it turns
leaves
into
us
Sebring, right?
Right, then you get 20 minutes, and then it's going to take you 5 to 8 minutes to run the cars around twice, get the pace car in, and then you've got 12 minutes or 10 minutes of running left. And then
And it's
what
RJ's birthday, and we
what
just
are we
got him
doing?
some local spirits.
Exactly. Lamar is on. Like, what, you know? What are we doing? I can see a scenario where if we get stopped again, we won't get stopped again. Or if we do, the end of the race does not look like we expected it to. Now, that being said, we have drivers coming back out to cars. We've got team owners back out with their cars. We've got people populating the cold pits again. So we're headed that way. There's clearing skies out to the west. We've got a wet track that's going to start drying over time, even with the little bit of rain and drizzle we've got going on at the moment. So there are some really interesting things that are still going to be at play here for the next 2.5 hours if we can keep the cars running, if we can keep circulating around Daytona International Speedway. And I think we've all got our fingers crossed that we do. But as you mentioned, Joseph, this thing gets really interesting really fast the closer we get to the end of this race.
And
never mind the fact that we're going to be doing this in the dark, by the way.
As much as I love to manufacture drama, this isn't the kind of drama that I would like to manufacture, right? I don't like a situation where the race doesn't run. We've already had 2 gigantic stoppages, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're gonna get, but you want it to finish at the same, like you want it to, I don't know. You want everyone to be going to the same clock, you know?
Sure, and it's not just that. WRL racing is genuinely super interesting. Like, we have had some pretty iconic races and finishes, not just here, everywhere. And when you get the races that pan out in a very natural way, the more natural it is, the better they tend to be. And so you'd want it to run to its natural conclusion. Let's get to 10 p.m., you know? Even with these giant stoppages.
Now, we've got another situation where so we're kind of repeating. Oddly, we didn't see this in the first red flag, but we've got a situation where if you've got a car that's been beaten up pretty badly, you can't repair it under a red flag legally, but you can get it repaired and then go out and just get seat time, right? If you repair the car, do any work on the car, you'll be excluded from the results at the end of the race. But you can still get those laps done and let people have fun in the race car. Yep. And if you like racing in the rain, at least for the first like half hour or so that we're out there, at a minimum, you are going to have fun.
Yeah, and this will be a different experience even from what we had back at Mid-Ohio, where it was very wet but very cold. And you were driving cars around without any real ability to get temperature into the tires, and nothing worked the way it was meant to. You know, this is an altogether different experience. The track
a different experience.
Yes, thank you. My family has roughly 100% participation on that joke. Always wonderful. But this will be a very different experience. You've got, temperature in the track. You'll be able to get some temperature in the tires. You're obviously going to be loading them up around the banking. Track conditions are going to be changing lap to lap. We're going to see some pit strategy kind of have to play out here. Some tire strategy maybe have to play out. There's certainly enough standing water that I don't know that the normal DOT type slick is going to, well, not slick, but the normal DOT tread, it may not be sufficient.
One of those little slips of the tongue, Brennan, kind of actually alluded to something that's going to be really interesting, which is you've got a lot of cars out there with iffy electronics modules. And we've got some pretty iffy conditions at the moment.
Is that what Tim said? Don't you dare say it.
Oh, that actually wasn't what I was going to.
No, but it's a fair point. I mean, it has been a storyline all the way through today. Is the weirdness of these BMW electronics?
I thought he was accusing us of jinxing the weather.
I think he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But still, I mean, the electronics situation has been totally unique and still very bizarre throughout the course of the day.
Honestly, good for them for not wrecking the cars, to be perfectly honest.
Sure. Yeah, and minimizing the damage. I
Yeah.
mean, to only be 3 or 4 laps down after having to pit, I don't know, half a dozen times or however many it's been to reset the electronics on those cars. Some have handled it better than others, but
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to jinx it. But I think the cell that's east of Ocala, I think that's moving like proper northeast. I think it might miss us.
yeah, that's what I was looking at the same. I was looking at the same.
So cross everything that happens. Which is obviously, that's actually been a pretty significant weather shift because most of the day the weather has been coming from the west-southwest. So it's actually kind of shifted about 30 degrees or so in terms of where that's coming from. Which makes sense because the wind has been coming from the south the entire time.
The a weather app suggests rain for 53 minutes. Now, obviously, a little unpredictable here, and an hour out is a little far to tell, but there is hope there.
Because it's transitioned from storms to rain? Is that what you're getting at?
Well, and there's light at the end of the tunnel that we're not going to get clipped or, whacked by another storm in.
Yeah, so what I'm seeing is storms through 11 p.m. And if that happens, obviously that would be done so. But I don't think we're going to get that straight through.
Yeah. We run to 10 o'clock. That is the
Yes.
target here. Yeah, we haven't.
10 o'clock Eastern time. Eastern Daylight Time?
Yes.
Get the two confused sometimes. Because sometimes you'll see people write EST in the summer. It's like, that's not what that means. It's EDT.
Sure. Yeah.
You're being ridiculous.
I completely agree. We are currently EDT.
I'd like to eat some pizza.
Scott is allegedly bringing me food again.
Oh.
Yeah. But
wow. They say Americans are extremely generous.
Right outside. I have to go let him in. I'll be right back.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Ask for food first. Ask him if he has the goods.
Yeah, there's a password, and it's I have food.
Hot and ready.
Yeah.
Well, on the bright side, we do have a person back in the starter stand again. That is a good sign.
Oh, that is a good sign. Oh, I need to fix a bug in the projections before we get moving. I just tried to trigger one and it didn't work because I'm an idiot.
What I'd like us to make sure we do right before we go back to green is make sure we say hi to our sponsors.
Oh yeah, we should cue Gabe up to queue up some ads.
Probably wait until Brendan gets back.
Nah, we'll do it while
that could be awkward.
I'm back.
Oh no.
Well,
you hear about being the meat ratio and Brendan comes back saying, I have food.
Being the meat ratio is so 2021.
It is. Are we ready for this?
I'm
do
ready.
Some ads and then come back and go racing?
I think Gabe's ready for this.
Yeah, let's do it. Back at Daytona in a moment with the resumption, fingers crossed, of the WRL 14 hours, powered by Hagerty.
Okay, all right. Hard stop at 6 today. We need alignment by then, people.
Here's where the rubber meets the road.
Have these initiatives moved the needle, at all? Well, let's shift gears a minute.
We're really kind of at the apex here.
Well, we gotta stay agile.
I said we fast track the pit.
Can we circle back? Keep everyone in the loop.
Focus, guys. We're in a race to the finish, all right?
We need to put the pedal to the metal. We need to nail those hairpin turns, cross that finish line, and take that checkered flag.
Yes, Josh. Yes!
Start your engines! Woo!
Ready to hit the track? We've got you covered with the world's largest motorsports calendar, track day insurance, and more. Hagerty. Let's drive together.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Truck owners who run Cooper AT3s are some of the most dutiful people I know. Even if that duty is to haul a load of this stuff. It's not glamorous, but it's their duty nonetheless. So if you and your truck are constantly tackling the regular duties of the day, go with a tire that can handle them all. Oh, man. I stepped in it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper.
Sentinel by Candelaria Racing Products is a comprehensive motorsport video system incorporating live streaming, local recording, picture-in-picture, flag status, leaderboards, data overlays, and more. Perfect for endurance racing, sprint racing, and HPDE. Sentinel includes everything you need to get started. With the ability to control the live feed from the cloud and GPS auto start, you will never miss an on-track moment. What are you waiting for? Get your Sentinel today.
Just before the double yellow, or just as the double yellow was coming out, and caught it before the red flag, whereas Thunder Bunny is almost certainly going to have to pit here. 99 will be able to catch up to the back end of the pacing order, and depending on the timing of all of this, that'll determine who is actually properly advantaged and who may have actually been caught out here. So this will take a couple of minutes to shake out.
Was the possibility of wet tires a discussion topic at all?
It was, yeah.
Do we have any clue at all if that is an option for anyone?
We know it is for sure. There are different treads that teams may choose from, but they obviously won't have been able to make that decision during the red flag.
Of course, yeah. Well, that's the thing, is are we going to see coming to? I know from a couple of chats I had that definitely the MPO ones wouldn't consider it. Especially, particularly with no standing water, and there really isn't any standing water, is there? I'm asking you, even though I'm the one here actually looking at the track. But,
there was a little bit around the horseshoes, but I think it's kind of drained away by now. You can see a little bit here in the distance here at the apex of turn 6, but there's not a ton.
Yeah, and Billy was telling me that with the downforce on their car, the A052s, he's at most tracks he's basically only about a second a lap slower in the wet and in the dry. So for any car with downforce, I imagine there's probably, and nice soft tires, there's not really much motivation to switch to wets. Maybe I'm saying some of the RS4 teams might consider it, with those tires being a bit harder.
And those are Hancocks, right?
Yeah, I think so. We've got the number 2 already in the pits, in their pit box. But again, car has not been super competitive all day.
So the group that left ahead of the safety car is now coming around,
and they're all pitting
at start finish. So there's actually a lot of consternation here about who is and isn't coming in. I think 99 was a late. Oh, you can't pass here, man. Yeah, 99 thought about coming in and then ducked out at the last moment. Now, for my money, I don't think there should have been much question there. I think you got to come feel out the conditions, but you've got to plan for it.
Now, the 58 which is the GT class leader, was in the pits for an extended period of time and came out just before the red flag, and now they're back in again. As we have a BMW. That's a BMW. Might not be actually. Pulling into the garage. Definitely a production class car. So this is curious with the 58. Putting fuel in. And now they're sending him, I think.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of water on the surface here.
Oh, no, he's going to the garage.
58?
Yeah, yes, the GTU class leader.
Okay, so where's the 6? Is the 6 still out?
The 6 should be out.
Okay.
Billy was left my conversation to go and get ready, so hopefully.
Now, does that imply that he's getting in the car or getting ready
Yeah,
just to crew the car?
he was already in the car.
Okay.
So he'll be finishing off his stint. He's not going to finish the race. They got another driver to put in.
Now, the 58 has just been
By the way,
given their first warning for a fueling infraction.
The safety car has carried on, and nobody else has. Everyone else has come in the pits. The Camaro is the first car, and that was a long way down the queue. 59 has stayed out. Got a few cars coming into the garage. No one high up in, certainly no GTO cars. The 401's in the pits. The 52 is in the pits. 401, are they still competitive? Yeah, they're 5th. 52 is 2nd, so that's the 2nd overall car. Did the 111 come in? They kind of must have, because they should have been the first car behind the safety car, but they're not now. It's 111's pit. Is that them, Brendan, down that end? That is, so that's them in the pits. Right, okay, so right, the 111 is also in the pits. So okay, so this is where we think the 99 has a chance to leapfrog all of these cars, depending on where it is. Is this them coming out of NASCAR 4? I have to wait because the headlights are blinding. Nobody's rolling. Yes, this is the 99, so that's going to be the 99 taking the lead. So as Brendan correctly predicted, that car made the right call, jumping into the pits as soon as the caution came out for the Lightning. And they're going to leapfrog everyone again into the lead of the race. I suspect it's just them, and then it will be the 111 and the 52. 111's changing tyres. I wonder.
So the
Potential
99 was
compounds?
on the 99 was on the verge of making that change. Right? They were trying to decide whether or not to come into the pits and actually do it, or whether or not they were just going to stick it out on track. In the end, it was, I mean, they had 2 wheels on the apron. Like, that's how close they were to coming into the pits. And in the end, they decided not to. They're going to tough it out on the tires they have. Let's not forget, too, that these tires are going to have various life left in them.
This is what I'm wondering.
Tread left in them.
They may be the same tires going on the 111, but a deeper tread because they're fresh.
Yep,
They
exactly.
haven't got however many hours of running we have.
Right.
We
And
haven't done 12 hours.
we had mentioned in an 8-hour race, you may run 4 and 4. If 4 hours is the lifespan of a tire, and we have seen that other places, 3.5 to 4 hours on an abrasive surface is about right. If you haven't changed tires and more than an hour or 2 before the last red flag, you may not have enough life left in those tires to get home in the dry, never mind in the wet.
I can't help noticing the 401's going to struggle to get out of their pit box here. They're also changing tires, by the way.
Yeah.
They've also got a car right in front and right behind them. It's going to be a 15
lights are out on the
point,
safety car, guys, so I'm going to throw this away and then be ready to go here.
Don't throw it away. There's still 2 hours to go. As the Lexus goes off here.
Off.
Oh no, that's an M2.
My feet is frozen.
Yeah, well, they're moving now, so.
Yeah, if we can pick the field up coming out of... slowing NP01 on the banking. If we can pick the field up coming out of... Excuse me, the final corner here, Gabe.
Oh, look at that.
Is that the safety car going into the pits?
It is.
So
Yep.
who's got a massive jump of the field? It's
the
Camaro.
89.
They're ready to go. They got places to be.
I mean, if you've been spending all that time down in the pit lane, you probably would too. There's a good chance the 401 is going to lose a lap here, depending on where the 99 is in the pacing order.
They're going to be a fair way back.
Would have thought
Yes,
so.
'cause they
but
were
we
on
had
the tail
so
end.
many cars pit.
Sure, yeah. Good point. There's the one.
Oh man, there's another car stopped down in the apron there coming into pit lane. I'm not sure who that is.
It's garbage.
But I'm not sure that Stratus car is going to make it home.
It's Strat.
Or, well, whoever the NPO one is.
Yeah.
Who do we think it is?
I don't know. The only NPO ones out there are the 59 and the 6, I think.
That car is moving again.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. They're not even going to come in the pits.
No.
That looks like the 59.
Is that that's the Hammer car? That's the blue auto park at Hammer car that's pulling out of the skid pad there at the entrance.
So that was the 59 that had stopped.
Wait. It's the GTR car. It wasn't
wow,
the
it
Hammer
was the
car.
race leader.
It was the blue BMW, but the wrong blue BMW. That was your race leader who spent, well, long enough stationary down at the bottom of the skid pad, and out of nowhere, it's promoted the number 52 ACB Tangerine Associates BMW to the overall race lead.
Well,
So
much
here's
for
your
that.
WRL going to WRL moment. We thought this was all smiles and rainbows for the number 99, and instead they were absolutely dead stick down in the skid pad. What type of car is the GTR?
What type of car is every car in the top?
What do we have here,
race?
Gabe?
Somebody off in the grass, middle shot.
Oh, good call. Yep.
Is that the 4?
Is the 4 circulating?
Good question. There was a spin and continue for the 55. Is it?
No, it wasn't.
Didn't look like that,
55.
but
no, that was a production car of some sort.
Everyone pretty much dealing with the conditions well. There's not a huge amount of spray, which is really going to help. So visibility.
Certainly up on the banking.
I don't think really anywhere. I don't see anything that would cause visibility issues.
Yeah. I think it
Little
stopped
bit
raining
in-
as well, right?
Well,
Light drizzle. That's not much.
there's a little bit in the kink, that sort of area. It's a little bit down. But yeah, it's nothing that you just pull out online and you will have perfect vision.
No, but you can't send it either. Right?
Speak for yourself.
Bring it on, iRacing. Oh, on board the GTR car. Check this out. Oh, wow. It's back. Well... yeah.
I mean, it's back like Harrison Ford right now, so.
Landing on a taxiway. So we've got the 421 back up on the lead lap as a result of some of this, which is big progress. That's 4 cars. And Hammer cars come through in lockstep. There's the 2.
The 2 is uncompetitive.
Right, so where's the
we're looking for the
52?
52.
Yeah, so one more waiting for there. 605 is in.
We not had the 52
It's
through?
third place in GP3.
Because there's the 99.
There's the 2.
No, 52 and the 99 is
Oh, sorry,
directly
the
behind
52.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Nose
this is a race,
to tail.
race for the lead.
And that gap came down 9 seconds on that lap. So once the GTR car got going, it has gotten going.
So it'd be interesting to see how the 111 does on its fresh tyres.
58's back.
Back on the track. Oh, there it is. Yep.
Coming out of the paddock just
Okay,
in
so
front of us here.
that's closed up the GTU battle slightly, but
It's 11 laps now.
11
Listen to that audio. They're off the throttle before they even get to start finish.
Oh, sure.
They are tiptoeing.
Well, part of the issue is it's not just whether or not you can control the car on
By the way,
brakes.
from this onboard camera, that is the race for the lead.
Yeah.
It's a little bit behind what Brendan and I can see.
Oh, man. This is some iconic stuff.
Yeah,
In the rain, fading light around Daytona, brake lights, trackside lights. I mean, this is really challenging stuff and a race for the lead. You know, we haven't been racing for 12 hours, but it's been 12 hours since we started all this nonsense.
These are both 2018 M4 GT4s, by the way. We've talked about how they've made changes to the spec, so they're not quite in GT4 spec. But these are cars that have come out of the same factory, basically.
Yeah, Thunder Bunny's come through. It's a 2:42.6 that time. They've
Right.
dropped
In
17 seconds to the GTR car on that lap.
I would say completely clear road. They've got one production car in front of them.
Yeah, that
but-
won't have held them up much. at all.
Well, if they did, it's because they can't pass a production car.
So where are the 2 BMWs battling for the lead on track here? Here comes TLM USA,
They should be pretty. Is it these two? No, that's a.
trying to judge the delay.
I think that's a
from the
Stratus
onboard.
car.
It is.
Or a, sorry, an MP1. It's the Racer Motors car.
Oh, there's GTR. It's got the two white.
I am going to be curious to see how the fast MPO1s do in these conditions.
So for reference at night, the GTR BMW has got two white strips down the roof line, one on either side.
No, that's
not them.
them.
I thought that was going to be the ACP car. There
There's
goes
the
the
two.
two.
So the
Where's the
52?
99?
Well, again, you're confusing the 52 and the 2.
Oh my gosh.
There wasn't that big gap. Is that full course yellow?
Yep, it is.
That's
It is.
So we don't even get a second lap. Still haven't come through.
Are we yellow for anything in particular?
Is it these two cars?
Oh, that's gonna be so close. That's gonna be so close. I think he was alongside. Oh, this is shades of Indy. Paul Tracy, eat your heart out.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, they were side by side coming off of NASCAR 4.
Yeah, I don't.
Actually, that onboard really isn't that far behind.
No, I was looking much.
Yeah,
much
I was
further
getting
behind
really
than that.
confused by that.
Especially for as choppy as it was.
I'm gonna go back in the video.
Nope. Well, what have we caught here? This is at the bus stop. Is there something on the way out?
That may have been those two cars side by side.
So I think this is for the split decision 484 drivers left at turn 2. So I think they've gotten into the pit wall. If we can go to the, we've actually kind of just missed it by being on board here, by getting on board here late. But I think if we go to our turn 3 camera, we might actually catch it. This one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're looking for there.
Just look very close to contact.
Yeah.
Just close.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. There's the car.
Found it.
Oh yeah, he'll have looped it just coming on the throttle there over the. There's not so much a rise there, but there is a little bit of camber built into that left-hander. It kind of drops into the curb on the left-hand side up against the pit wall. As you come up off of that, I think it might be a little easy just to spin the rears up in the wet.
Got the 58 back in the pits with no
And
lights.
they've just been dinged a lap for speeding in pit lane.
The 58?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that brings it down to 10 laps.
I think it only did one lap there, so the one lap it did, it got removed immediately. So may as well have not bothered.
So the question is why? The question is why has it come back in after just being in the paddock?
It had no lights on either, so
And what are
that's
they doing
concerning.
to it? Yeah. Now that
Speeding in pit lane might be another electronic issue, depending on how the limiter's
Yeah,
configured.
it could be. And
pointing ahead
the,
into the left here.
the team didn't look ready.
Here
so,
comes the 555.
Then again, are they sending it into the garage? They are sending it back into the garage. And there's another MPO1, hilariously,
It's a
coming,
capstone car.
coming the other way. Oh, well, that car's been there for ages. Are they? They're not still in contention.
421 is in, which is relevant because it's a lead lap car at the moment.
So this capstone car is 18 laps off the class leader and 8 laps behind the Racer Motors car for
So
second.
third, yeah. They're sitting in third, yeah.
Well, they're 8 laps behind Racer Motors, who potentially are going to move into the lead.
Well, what do we do about this?
I mean, what can you do? I mean, the 99 and the 52 are. Don't know that anybody's going to fight this, particularly hard. They were really close, but it did look like the 99 was ahead.
Timing tower needs to update the flag to caution. It's a caution flag. Caution's out.
He looks.
I realize they have enough going on.
Yes, yeah. And whatever rhythm we had going earlier, where we were getting good timely pushes of the yellow flag to race here, I think we've more or less lost.
Well, in case anyone was wondering what kind of pace an MPO1 has in this weather, I think the Racer Motors car was the second fastest car on the track during that short little stint.
I'd buy that.
So this is interesting, what we're looking at.
Third
More
fastest car because JTR were way quicker than anyone else.
It's more interesting than it appears, but that suggests to me like the 52 has ceded position to the 99.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say it's an endurance race, and, you know, but there are 2 hours left, which is a lot less than 14.
You are so good at math.
Yeah.
That's why they make you an air traffic controller.
I didn't even have to divide by 3 for that one.
2 wet hours, though. Wet
Man.
hours last twice as long as dry hours. They certainly make sprint races feel like endurance races.
Number 6, Racer Motors is on their warning, their pit lane warning. They've burned it on a visor up, which you can imagine because now everything's going to be extremely damp, and you're going to want to crack your visor to keep it from steaming up. But that's something that everyone needs to be aware of. The visors have to be down for everybody at all times, including the driver in the car, everybody in the crew that's over on that side of the wall.
Maybe he was waiting for somebody to bring him the white visor.
Felipe,
I'm
stay
going to
cool.
go out on a limb, though.
You're in a good position.
I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that the GTU is not going to be settled by 1 lap. So if they do get a penalty,
don't even.
You
Why
had
would you
better
even?
be prepared to eat hats.
It's my bold prediction for the day.
It doesn't count.
Capstone's running.
Yeah, it was a car coming out as
Yep.
58 was going back in.
I'm recognizing the fact that they stayed out.
Oh, instead of coming right back in.
Yeah,
That is
which
fair.
The 58 has set that trend
Yeah,
recently.
that's fair.
421 didn't defend the garage, did they? They're on their outlap.
No, they're on their outlap. They were just here in the pits. I don't know if they decided to change tires there as a result of the yellow. I'll say this: fuel economy under the yellow is going to matter, or under the wet conditions, I think is going to matter. Under green conditions, you would say you should come in now and top off, right? Because there's a chance you'd be able to make it from here on one more stop in GTO, certainly. But if you're suddenly able to do an hour and 20 because you're not on the throttle as far going into turn 1,
I think it'll make a bigger difference than that, even because they'll do an hour and 20 just because it takes an hour and 20 to do an hour's worth of laps in the wet.
Never mind.
And then that'll be, and you're on the throttle less on those laps.
Yeah.
I think we'll see a big extension of. Then again, GTO cars around here, the one green flag run we actually got, they were only doing about 50 minutes, I think. So.
Right. So whatever the number is,
whatever it is,
right? I mean, I think it's still going to have an impact here, and the team that gets those numbers right, I think is going to have an advantage.
Definitely.
Especially
but then
if
also,
the track...
how do you predict how much yellow we're going to have?
Well, exactly.
At this
right?
rate, it's going to be a lot.
And how does the track evolve? Does it start drying up and the track starts getting faster again? Are we in this till the end?
That's a good point. Is it? Yeah, it is still raining.
Still raining, yeah, for sure.
Not a lot.
It's still raining, and
but
the question is how and how much do you hedge against the possibility that the storm over the land, well, I guess away from Daytona,
lights are out.
Clips us.
Lights are out on the safety car.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and how, I mean, you could see water has been pushed off of the racing line down here going into turn 1. So oh.
Thanks, Racer. Caution's out.
Trouble.
Green flag, green flag, green flag. Ooh.
Oh, good. Oh, the 99's just not gone.
That's interesting.
Is this a traction control, stability control issue again?
It's very slow.
On the 99? He's going to pull into the pit exit lane, I think. Oh, he's just going to stop. So let's cut to the turn 1, or even better, on board the 99. Let's stick here. That car has come to a stop. It's been reset.
Now he's got no lights.
Correct. He's got the tail light. Well, he's got brake lights, but no tail lights, which he'll need.
Maybe a reboot?
That's exactly what it is. Yep, on his way again. For sure, that's the case there for the 99. So this is twice now. When that car's going to accelerate, coming back from a full course yellow, it hasn't. Right. It ended up at the skid pad once. It's ended up down here at turn 1 once. I think we'll also have to be careful of where they choose to stop the car and reset it. Because if you do that too many times in a place that race control doesn't like, be
well,
smart
even that
about
was
it.
iffy. I would have preferred
That's
to go
my
left of the
point.
cones.
That's my point. Pull into the pit exit lane, or it would have been tough to go drivers right there. I can appreciate that, but
I mean, it's heads up enough. Grant that he's making the decision in the heat of the moment, right?
Yeah, sure.
To pull off, and so I give him a little bit of leeway there.
Well, and that's the heat of the moment with the race potentially on the line, right? Not just we've gone back to green and we got to go racing again. Now we're just cresting 2 hours to go, and I've got to chase down the 52, which may not be that difficult, but still,
it's a double whammy too, right? Because now he's got to chew through all this traffic.
Yeah. Yep, and all that traffic that might be doing 20 to 30 seconds a lap slower than he's actually capable of. Now, in the banking, it's not such a big deal. You can just put your foot down and go for it. But on the infield, man, you've got to end the bus stop. Braking for the bus stop has got to be a kind of a crapshoot based on who you're behind.
555 is back out.
Yeah, so is the 58. We noticed that. I know they came back out for one lap, went back in the garage.
No, I hadn't noticed that actually.
Yeah, according to time, they're back out there. So the gap is now 7 laps in GTE, so that's steadily reducing.
Yeah, that'll be about 15, probably 20 more minutes before that's down to...
Well, no, the 58 is circular.
Oh, it has gone back out.
Wait, according to Race Hero, there's no pit thing next to it.
Yes.
I didn't notice it coming back out. So.
I didn't either. Yeah. So I assume the 111 will have gone by the number 99 here.
Yeah, everybody.
Yes.
Everybody on that lap except for maybe the 421.
Right, but the 421
the one. No, actually, it hasn't. The 99's come across the line in second.
Oh man, the 111 is.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
It was 18 seconds slower than 52 that lap.
Didn't the 111 come in for tires?
It did, yeah.
That's unusual. You would have. Just to put a fine point on it, it's because you would have expected them to put on tires that were well.
It actually, did you mention it's been passed by the 99 or didn't get past the 99? Yeah.
I think it absolutely would have passed the 99, and then I think the 99's gone back.
Yep, I think you're right. Sorry, I was distracted by the Racer Motors car flashing its lights all the way from the exit of NASCAR 4.
I've noticed he was doing that for most of the lap.
Yeah.
He's still doing it into the International Horseshoe.
Yeah,
I mean, he's all the way around. He's just taped the button down. To be fair, considering the crash that car had earlier, I don't blame him.
Yeah, but race control will only put up with that, I think, for so long. This isn't Le Mans where that's
He's still flashing.
Oh, spinner at the exit of 5! Who is that? Turn 6 camera will have that.
Is it the 401?
It might be the 401, yep. It's got green LED strips over the top. It is the 401. Good catch, Joseph.
We gone full course yellow?
Nope, no,
there's just the whiteboard that's local.
Yeah, just the local yellow light.
Okay.
I think Billy is just making sure that we can identify him from anywhere on the track.
We can.
There's a slow car out turn 6, getting split by the field. I think
maybe an overnight car? Oh man, that 401.
Absolutely, that was all right.
No, the rejoin was fine. It was the traction, trying to get traction as they pulled away. So there's an opportunity here for the 52 to kind of settle in.
There is.
The 696, 221.
Yeah, that car is will to win with 222. But those two cars are far and away the quickest in the field by those things. Maybe not. TLM USA, another 222.
I'm really curious to see.
There are a few guys out there who are figuring it out.
Let's make sure we keep eyes on the 99's lap time though, because we know that car's got some ringers in it.
Where is the GP2 car that was leading the line?
Here comes the 99. Blue banner, or blue LED strips down the A-pillars. 231.5 in traffic. A lot of traffic.
Yeah, that gap's out to 30 seconds, and obviously that they were in the lead for the restart.
Yeah, 111's down to 242, so 11 seconds slower, but starting to find its speed a little bit.
Sound like an early downshift for somebody.
On board the 99 again. And the 401 starts its recovery. Slinging around the outside of some traffic down there at turn 1. Now that car, I think, lost out 7th. So the number 01 from Hammer Motorsports.
I think that's exactly right.
Yeah, on that lap, it will have lost that position. Stephen Clemens.
You know, the 421's at risk.
Is in the
Well, not at risk, but the 421's threatening to overhaul the 111 in about 2 laps' time.
That's a good point. Yeah, and that was where that text came from. That's Stephen Clemens, sorry, who's just gotten on board that number 421.
Yeah, he's seems to be wheeling it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but he's 13 seconds a lap slower than the car behind him.
So we're all going to compress.
Yeah, well, it kind of looks like it in the top 5. Certainly the Thunder Bunnies are going to come together, and it looks like Will to Win, as I think they're about to come across the line. So the Will to Win car is following the JTR car around, and they just did a 218, whereas JTR did a 219. So those two cars are circulating very quickly.
The 983 has Cameron Lawrence listed against it.
Ruh-roh. We've got
not very good at math, but
we've cleared out the standing water at the chicane, which is good.
Yeah. Oh, Chadwick Moorhead has made it home. Chad, aren't you in Georgia? Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like 12 hours ago.
Yeah.
We're only a couple of hours south of Georgia, if you didn't know.
It's 7 hours to Red Atlanta.
Up to Red Atlanta.
Yeah.
So if we've got the 348 queued up, oh no, what am I looking at? Hold on.
Joseph's saying a lot of words. Don't mean a lot.
Yeah, sorry. I've got conflicting information because I had the 606 as being right on the tail of the 348, and now I can't decide if that's real or not. Oh no, it is. Okay. Yeah, that's a fight for second in GP2. That is nose to tail.
Yeah, like you say, 348 from Chattanooga Torrenbogen and the 606 from Core Motorsports. Although, no, that's just gone the other way, hasn't it? No, 7.2 seconds
I don't
in favor
think
of
so.
48.
Oh, it sure has on that lap.
Yeah, that margin is about identical to the difference in lap time there. This time around, now that the leaders are completing lap 189, everybody's starting to kind of converge here. The two leaders have done 227s. Thunder Bunnies brought their lap times down another 5 seconds as they sort of get that. Oh, car in the tires at turn 3. That'll just be a long slide off. Is that a Cayman?
It's kind of what it looks like to me.
Yeah, no, you won't catch it on the feeds there, Gabe.
Yeah, it'll be between cameras, unfortunately.
Yep, slid off into the tires.
Reverse lights are on. He's got it going.
Yeah, but this is that off-camber.
Yeah, but
let's pull up the exit
road
camera.
Tires, man. We can go.
Trackside 4, I think we might be able to pick it up.
No problem.
No, it's a Pinnacle car. It is a Cayman. It's a good catch.
So that'll be the 127, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The three. I forget the other number, but I think it's a blue car.
You say these times are converging. The difference in lap time between the 4th and 5th place cars is 15 seconds.
I didn't say for everybody.
Well,
said for the cars on the lead lap.
You mentioned the 111, which is even slower than the 4th place car. So we've still got a roughly 20-second spread between fastest and slowest GTO cars.
Oh sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even between the leader and the fastest car on track is still almost 10 seconds.
So the gap between Will to Win...
lurid slide. That's so great to see.
The gap between the Thunder Bunny 421 in 4th and Will to Win in 5th is down to 1 minute and 6 seconds. And as I say, that closed up 15 seconds on that lap. So we're only going to need another 4 or 5 laps. That'll be over.
Also keep an eye on the battle for second in GP1 between NFC Motorsports and Almonte Motorsports.
Yeah, I was tracking that too. That's tightened up from 9 seconds to about 6.5 seconds on that last lap, and
There
yeah,
goes 127 rejoining the screen.
now that'll probably be the ceiling for Almonte. It's about a 6-lap difference, so they would be relying on a problem for big missions 336.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced the 58 car is out there because the gap.
No,
from-
actually, I think this is it here, Scott. I think it's just leaving the paddock as you say that.
Okay, so Race Hero wasn't helping us very much there. The gap's gone down below 3 laps now.
Yeah.
But the 58 is now out on track.
Is the-
So it's going to be 2.5 laps roughly between the first and second GTU cars. So catchable in 2 hours? Depends what pace the 58
No,
is.
it's not. They're not gonna. GTU's not gonna be decided.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any crow?
Oh.
Oh,
Alright,
traction
we
control
really
works
need
on the one.
Need to cut that exit a bit more, guys. Don't track out so much.
You don't even want to in that way. You want to come off with in a straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I keep seeing them go out towards the white line there. Right around where they're hitting the white line, you'll see them slide a bit.
Guys,
Okay,
do you have a sense of where the 127 is on track, and is that going to make it back around?
The which car?
Oh,
the pinnacle car that we saw on the
The
wall.
one that went the wall.
Oh yeah. That car. Once
It
you got out of
seemed-
the
it seemed
runoff,
fine,
was,
yeah.
Well,
don't
it
even
was
think he's
it
coming
was
to the pit.
noted as slow by race control at turn 6. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. It got out the grass.
Yeah, there's nobody
as
in
quick
the-
as you would want to.
Okay.
Nobody around the banking.
Oh, that's got to be a dicey area right there. Coming back onto the banking out of 6.
Yeah, I look at how dicey it is on the track map.
The 421 has found some more pace. The 421 is down into the 228s, which is roughly the pace the leaders are at.
They're going to overtake the 111. this lap, I
Yeah,
think.
this lap.
Oh yeah, so they are. Will to Win is still catching them at 8 seconds a lap. So that 983 came and is really flying.
Yeah, Justin here in the 348. He's taking the rain line. I do wonder if he's maybe overdoing it a bit.
One car that is not flying is the Ginetta. That was a 255. I don't know. This is the JTR car.
No, they weren't. They're just watching them exit 3 a moment or so ago. They're just taking it very easy.
Yeah, 252 on that lap.
Crossed up a little bit.
That's them going to turn 1, holding up a big train of cars.
Oh, Thunder Bunny still knows the tail. They actually haven't swapped around because the 111s found a little bit of pace. Down to the 233s. Still 5 seconds off of your race leaders. GTR's still 224. It's getting there.
Yeah, that's not even particularly fast. There are guys under 220.
Oh no! I'm aware of that, but at the
Just that the gap
moment,
is shrinking.
yeah, at the moment those cars aren't. I mean, they're in the picture long term, but there's a lot to play out over the next hour and 45 in terms of.
By the way,
track
this queue we're watching going through the International Horseshoe screens is all held up behind the Ginetta. Which is,
It looks like they're under safety car.
Yeah, they are 30 seconds off the pace, which is a lot. And I think that probably makes it the slowest car.
Well,
on the
I mean,
track.
everyone knows that there's no reason Ginetta would ever race in the rain. So
It's impossible. Yeah, they are genuinely the slowest car on the track, other than one of the overnight motorsport Boxsters.
Tell you what, this 983 does not even look like it's racing in the wet. I mean, the lap time is obviously different, but he is as committed on the brakes and sailing it off into the corners as he would be.
Closed up another 11 seconds on the Thunder Bunny cars that lap.
Yeah, this car is now very much a contender, regardless of the fact that it's not on the lead.
Yeah,
lap.
because not only it is on the lead lap, it's overtaken the leader.
Has it?
It's a minute 56 behind second.
Behind second, exactly.
Yeah, sorry, I
so
misread
where?
that.
So,
but it is going. It's going.
It's a minute. It's a minute 56 behind the leader.
No, it's
behind
second.
second.
Ignore that. It's not to P1. It's to the car on that lap.
Having said that,
Because it would be on the lead lap if it were a minute 56.
No, I think Joseph might be right because it just second place just came across the line and it didn't change. So
it won't change.
But that car is
Brendan, my timing gives me laps and time, and I don't have a lap deficit.
What does it say? Just a minute 56?
Yeah.
Well, that car is also 6 seconds faster than the leader, so it's completely realistic they could have caught and passed the leader in the last couple of laps.
Well, let's flush this out on track, right?
Yeah, let's find it. That's the way to do it. So we should have the 111 coming across the line relatively soon with the 421. So we don't know which order that's going to be in actually, but that will be the race for third, and then Will to Win are going to be something like 30 seconds behind that.
There's the 986.
There's the 111, and the 421 came across first, so that's a change for third overall.
Correct.
So we should have 30 seconds before either Tangerine Associates, there's the Ginetta game planted, well, just getting passed by everyone. By the way, the reason I'm talking about that, guys, is because it's on the outskirts of the top 10. JTR are coming up behind them at 35 seconds a lap faster. Capstone in the pits.
Yep.
I think we might avoid the lightning, you guys.
Yay. There's JTR. Cutting between.
There's the 983.
So that car is on the lead lap.
The pass for GP1 second place has happened. That's Almonte, number 9, has overtaken the 123 for NFC Motorsports.
Good showing for Avante.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sponsored by Mac Aviation.
The leader still hasn't come across the line, by the way. So the 983 is comfortably on.
Oh, yeah.
And they are only 30 seconds behind. They're going to catch both Thunder Bunny cars in the next 2 laps. Still no sign of the leader. There they are.
I imagine Joseph's script can't account for a wet track between now and the end of the race.
It can try, but it's going to be so different in terms of the average lap times.
That's what I mean.
By the way,
we
AC
could do it
man,
for fun, but I wouldn't put too much stock in it.
Well, my point was going to be that even if you ran the projections, I don't think you would see the 983 counted anywhere near the top of the podium.
GTR were 5 seconds faster than the leaders on that lap, and the 52 car, which is in the lead, had a completely clear track.
Well, I think they've had to start figuring it out. Also, I think the 01 has gotten by the 401. I saw that change on Race Hero just now.
401 still hasn't come across.
Well, yeah, so that was where I was going with that in about 3 seconds' time. I don't think we've seen the 401, and I don't see any indication of that car anywhere.
I was going straight off through the Ginetta? Through the
It's not a
chicane?
401, is it?
No, it's not a 401. It looked like a 2-door.
I think
Here is the 401.
JTR's probably overtaken.
Actually,
Maybe that didn't change around. I thought that had just changed.
Is the M4 a 2-door? Or is it a 4-door?
I don't know. The M2 is a 2-door.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know about the M4. I think it's
Isn't it that the
4-door.
even numbers are 2 doors?
Everyone knows the M8 has 8 doors, so if you work from that,
They're gonna call you 8-door.
So that's JTR.
all right,
just
you
coming
go
across-
outside and just think about what you've done.
That was JTR coming across the line. They passed the incredibly slow Ginetta. Although the Ginetta has picked up about 10 seconds a lap since we last looked. But yeah, JTR.
I think that's
up to
because the
11.
Ginetta cut the chicane.
Yeah, it will be. They also got overtaken on that lap. The JTR car started that lap 20 seconds behind and overtook them and crossed the line 5 seconds ahead.
So the 111's down into the 229s, but they are now the slowest of any car ahead of the Ginetta.
Correct.
Yeah.
Lots of
GTR
cars
has
starting to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Although the 983 had a bad lap that time. I think they've now caught traffic.
Are they figuring it out, Scott, or is the track just getting drier?
It's a healthy dose of both.
No, I don't think the track's going to dry because JTR have been going around on their own and they're actually slightly slower.
Don't confuse dryer with dry.
Well, their times aren't any better than they were 5 laps ago. That's what I was getting.
True. Yeah, that's true.
So no, I think it's drivers figuring it out. That makes sense to me. And also the field's spreading, and we're not getting these clumps of lapped cars
Yes.
that guys are just getting stuck in. I wonder how the
we're gonna get
GTU's progressing.
Yeah, if you guys look towards the west, there is the hint of a nice sunset.
No, wouldn't that be nice? For all we put up with today.
The West would be behind us, right? Oh, yeah, we can't see that.
It actually might have already gone away.
By the way, the GTU battle is going to be interesting because right now Racer Motors in second are 3 laps behind, but they're 20 seconds a lap faster than the Stratus 58. So that will close up pretty quickly at that rate. As is this Stratus. No, this is Racer Motors coming across the line to set another 2:28, which is again 21 seconds quicker than Stratus 58. 2 laps behind. So we'll have to check back in on that.
Whoa!
20 minutes or so.
Sorry, I thought we were about to get a big slide there.
That was
99.
that was one of the
PO1s.
PO1s.
Yes, yes, it was.
It wasn't Stratus cars.
It wasn't
59.
Racer Motors because they were just going into turn 1 at the time. The
I
59.
think it was the 59 because
59,
it looked like
yeah,
the
I'd buy
58
that.
was on track.
That 99 we were on board with, I think, was about to catch a huge slide out of turn 4.
There it is. It is the
There it
59.
is. Yeah, good catch. Nice. Nicely done.
The 59's on pace with Racer Motors, but obviously it won't be this lap. They have 13 laps to capture on Capstone for third.
Fourth, have we mentioned fourth is going to change hands this lap? Between the 111 and the 983?
Right, interesting.
Gap's 10 seconds.
Yeah, and they're gaining at 13 seconds a lap.
Right, and this is very impressive on the surface because this gap has come down very, very quickly, whereas the 111 had been in third. The 983 was down in, I think, sixth at the restart. Okay, things have changed hands.
This is a relevant car to follow, by the way, because there's about 6
yeah.
seconds back to the core Mustang, and that's going to be a fight for second in GP2. The gap the gap up to the Harrison 146 is 2 laps and change. So, barring something happening to the 146, this shouldn't be a fight for the lead, but anything's possible.
Another battle that might change positions on this lap is for the overall lead.
Yeah.
GTR 99 was 9 seconds faster on that lap, and they are 10 seconds behind.
What happened to the 52?
They're just not as quick. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it
were
was-
in the
it-
24s.
were they?
Yeah.
Find me a 24.
26, 25.
Yeah.
They
so
were in the 25s.
Yeah, they did.
But that was a 30.
They're
They
probably
did
coming back around to.
25.
It,
Yes.
it might be a traffic thing. They might have just come up to a clump of traffic.
Yeah, yeah. I actually don't. I think they're on relatively clear track.
Yeah.
But yeah, whereas GTR are just trending towards lower 20s.
Anyway, just to put a point on the 983 111 deal, the 111 is one of the slowest cars in the gaggle. The 983 is arguably the quickest car on track, at least consistently. So it is now going to be slower progress for the 983 to catch the lead. With that being said, the margin up to the leader is down from 1:56 to 1:40. So it is still closing.
So that was the 421 coming across the line. We're now looking for either the 111 or the 983. There's the 111. So then 983, there it is. So
Just behind it.
that position will change.
This might be done by turn 2.
But yeah,
It is.
around the
It
outside.
is. That is ridiculously late on the brakes relative to the 111. What was the margin at the line? 2.7 seconds?
They gained that before the apex of turn 1.
That is unbelievable. And I get that it's faster car and slower car, but that is genuinely incredible.
I wonder if he even knew that was a faster position and not a GP2.
Does he need to know? Is a
Yeah.
philosophical question there. Just pass. You see a car, pass it.
Pass every car.
Yeah, and then keep going.
One of the interesting things we saw on the onboard for Chattanooga is seemed like they were avoiding, and by they I mean Justin, was avoiding the entry curves, not so much the exit curves. I don't know if there's a different composition in terms of anything that's laid down there. Is that the 7? Is it the 606? The 606 is through, yeah. So that pass has happened as well.
Okay, the 99 did not have anywhere near as good a lap that time. So the gap's down to 7 seconds. The will to win car, the 983, is also going to pass the 421 in a couple of laps for third.
As lap times change here, I caught this just now, and as we were talking, I don't know if we ever made mention of this. Did we mention we cracked the 201?
348 slow. 348 slow. Coming out of turn 5.
Oh, that is properly slow.
Oh no.
Where has that
Oh,
car wound up?
maybe a bad gear.
Looks fine now. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing happening around the banking that would suggest that there's a problem.
Then maybe he's just been spooked.
Had 4 off, continue.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
So that
Good
must have
catch.
been.
Oh, spin at turn 6.
We won't be able to
Cars
catch that on
rolled
camera.
back offline. Although tried to rejoin right into the side of someone.
That AOA MX-5.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah. I think he may have tried to rejoin him right in the side of the leader because he's now right in front of the 99.
That's how you get airtime.
If you want to go
Yeah,
on board
it
with,
launched into the sky.
yeah, if the 99 on board is still alive, there is the car that we were just talking about. 3 cars up from this is the overall race leader, I believe. It's difficult to tell this time of night. Luckily for us, the 52 is quite brightly coloured. The gap at the start of the lap was 7 seconds, with GTR somewhere between 3 and 5 seconds a lap faster.
I just want to make the token lightning observation. It is moving. Looks like it's moving northeast. It is currently about 15 miles away from the circuit. So as long as it doesn't encroach, it's sitting to the west. So it's going to be a function of how it skims us. But I'm cautiously optimistic that we're going to make it through this cell. As Brendan pointed out, we are getting later in the day, so this stuff is going to dissipate a little bit. We're going to lose some of the energy in the atmosphere, or we're at least going to have less sunlight feeding it.
Gap at the front is down to 5 seconds.
Did we cover the change for second in GP1 about 5 laps ago?
We did, yes.
Excellent.
So
We're on it, JT.
there, I am gonna say this. There are a couple of lightning strikes on the big board that are about 13 to 14. Well, let's call it 14 to 15 miles.
That's what I was calling it.
west. Yeah, that are extending south of the bulk of that big cell. So I don't think we're out of the woods there just yet.
That's why I said cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, it's looking better than it was before we went back to green, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
Yeah.
Racer Motors has got back within 2 laps of Stratus, number 58, and they're still lapping 20 seconds a lap faster. So if this stays green, then that's more than enough time for them to overhaul 2 laps. An hour and a half to go in the race, but yeah, it could be lightning that ruins that for them.
Yeah, let's stick on this for basically as long as we can manage it, because we're only 5 seconds behind the 52 here.
Yeah, let's point this out as well. It is worth continuing to push on here, regardless of who you are. Like if let's say you're the 983, your race could be cut short.
58 is in the pits
with no lights.
No lights.
It's a lap difference. It's a lap difference between the 6 and the 58.
They've found this pit stall now, but yeah, they tried to.
Yeah, they've driven through 5 boxes.
And then Brian Hicks' rule is being.
That might be a problem.
That might be a penalty.
Yes.
Driving through 7 different pit stalls.
They drove through 4 plus the WRL one that's got cones on. So
well, they did the 2 before it plus the WRL plus these 4. Yep.
The 52 has just come across the line. The 99 again. The closer they get, it's like magnetic poles. The closer they get, the harder it seems to be for them to catch. Because now they're basically doing the same lap times.
You do kind of wonder if the 52 is gap managing any.
The 52's pace is pretty consistent. The GTR 99 has done 20s and 20.
The 52 has just been dive bombed by an overnight motor. I think it's one of the overnight cars down at, or maybe that's the 170.
Yeah, it's not an out. It's not.
No,
an
it's not. No.
I don't know who that is.
I
that happens so frequently with the 170.
I think it might have been the 170.
By the way, the 3rd place is going to change on this lap. will to win is 9 seconds a lap faster and only 2 seconds
That
behind.
is crazy. That
58 has left the pits again with. Oh no, the lights are on now.
Yeah, I think they just shut them off coming down the pit lane because they have the natural lights and they don't want to blind the crew members. That's my guess.
Sure, but that was early, right, Joseph? That wasn't scheduled.
For the, it's tough
The
to say
58.
at this point.
Well, remember,
True.
Race Yard didn't have them in the pits. They had them circulating.
Oh well, that wasn't long ago. That was quite recent.
Ooh,
Well, and
yeah,
you can't fuel in the pits, so maybe there's that element
True.
going on.
Yeah.
there
There's
too.
that
Yeah,
change
it's
for position.
goofy.
Yeah, with the
Yeah,
983.
Yep.
Yep.
And that margin,
And they pulled 8 seconds.
The lead margin is down from 1:40 to 1:05.
Yes.
I-
That
But
is
it was over a lap because you thought they were a lap down, and they genuinely were at the restart.
yes,
So they've they've halved the deficit.
but it
since the
wasn't that
restart.
long ago we were talking about that car being 1:56, then 1:40,
Yeah, absolutely.
and now we're down to
What-
almost a minute.
They're still 8 seconds a lap faster
Yeah.
than the leader. So
Yep.
Yeah, look
That's
at their
just
last 10 laps. Their worst
Yeah.
lap has been, what,
So-
a 22?
which is insane in this traffic as well. And their average lap is in the 19s, whereas the leader's average lap is in the 26s, 27s.
I think I was slightly interrupted by the Stratus car coming in without any lights, but I wanted to make the point. If you, regardless of who you are, if you have any battles going on at the moment, you have to push on because your race could be cut short at any time.
Or not at all.
Or maybe it won't be, right?
It's
But
such
you
a-
can't take that
such
chance.
a lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Slow
wow,
55
yeah.
down the front straightaway here, and that almost caused some issues for some unidentified GTO cars flying up the front straightaway. Oh,
Oh,
the 99
wow.
was in there. You can see it there from the onboard.
By the way, the 58 has pitted 3 times in the last 11 laps.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely coming in off sequence a lot.
It's like it was waterlogged from the start or something.
That gap is still over a lap to the Racer Motors car at the front of GTO. It's still this 99 is stuck behind the same car it has been for the last few laps, isn't it?
It's the
It's a
choice car.
Choice. Yeah. Okay. Well, the choice car isn't slow.
Oh, but here's
that's
the 52.
52. Yeah, just ahead of them. I got a better chance of seeing it from the onboard, to be honest, than out the window with the way the light is. There's a 9.
Oh, I didn't. I thought you were watching the onboard.
No, I am watching the onboard. That's what I mean. I've got no chance of picking it out
Oh yeah.
in this light on the other side of the track.
Yeah, I don't think
This
that-
is the 58 back in the pits
Back
again.
in, yeah.
Yeah, so this is not sustainable. As in their lead is not sustainable for sure.
Do we think it's an electrical issue?
In the wet, just as likely as anything, yeah. The 983 has closed that gap down to 58 seconds to the leader. It's funny, the 99 is 1.5 seconds behind the 52, but I think the 983 might catch them before the 99 takes the lead. From a minute back, they're so much quicker. No movement yet from the 58.
It's almost like the 99 is content to let the choice car in front of it basically test the waters for it. Because I do feel like it could get around if it wanted to, although that was a rough launch out of the bus stop.
58 back on the move again. Trying to find. There's the race leader. Yeah, the 99 just seems pretty content. I mean, there's an hour and a half. There's full Grand Prix distance. Time to go.
Do you think they're racing for points? It's a double points race. It would be a big deal.
I think they're going to race for as much as they can get, but at this point, there's no point in pushing it. Is where they are. Is this the? This
That's
is
the
the
58.
58, and there's the Racer Motors car. Interesting.
Yes. I mean, it looks fine there. Lights are on.
Good.
Yeah, just tracking.
Oh,
Or the
out.
6th.
Yeah,
It
that
is
is
the
the
six,
6.
yep.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
if they
just-
stopped?
Yeah.
They did stop there, but they're not stopped now.
So
Right.
maybe their own electronics reset.
Yeah.
Oh, what? The leader's resetting their electronics? All right, we can do that too.
Yeah,
We
it's
can
like a game of
faster
horse.
launch.
So I don't see any sign of the 6 or any cars stopped around the track.
Do we
These
point
cameras
out
are
the
doing-
leaders just on a 221?
I know.
Nice.
I think the track is finally
That's
starting to
that's
get a little
ACP.
quicker.
That's the fastest they've been in a long time.
That's my point. GTR's in the 22s, and even the 983 has dropped from the 19s to the 17s.
And who this
we've
is,
got a 555.
Okay.
the number 6 is slow at turn 6, or out of turn 6.
I don't. Ooh, actually, that might be them on the bank now. It's a little car. It's not that slow.
No, I would expect that.
I think that's it coming off NASCAR 2 there. To driver's left.
Oh,
a little
coming
slow.
down into the bus stop out the window here, Scott.
Yeah, race log says that it was slow out of 6.
But it's such a sketchy place to not be up to pace. Yeah. Coming into the bus stop there.
Now, at least there's a lot of visibility. You know, there's no spray that's going to keep people from seeing that. But that is rough.
Let's keep an eye on these times here, because once they start to come down, you would expect, at least to some degree, it'll continue to progress in that direction.
Oh, and the 99 was one of the cars that got held up there.
Yeah, yep.
When it rains, it pours.
It sure did.
There's the 52. Margin's gone from 2.8 to 5.1. But more importantly, while they're doing 23s and 26s, I think the 983 is going to come through and have that margin down towards something like 45 seconds.
Lightning strikes 13 miles from the track.
Yeah, I was just watching the board a minute ago.
Couple pretty good ones.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's added some urgency to all of this.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Racer Motors is in.
58 retains the lead.
With the lights on.
555 has also gone missing.
48 seconds. Another 217 from the 983.
It's so curious. It's almost like as the track's gotten drier, the 99 hasn't quite adapted to it, and they're still kind of driving it with the sort of tenuousness that you would drive it when it was full wet.
Well, let's not forget here that while we have the lights, the visibility changes at night may make it a little less obvious where the track has dried.
That's
or how,
true.
to what degree the track will have dried.
No, I'm not blaming him by any means, but I that feels like maybe what has kind of changed this dynamic is that the 52 has sped up and the 99 hasn't as much.
I think that is probably true. The 99, I don't know that we've seen a representative time under these conditions for, because of it being held up last time through the bus stop by that slow Racer Motors car. But let's wait and see. There is definitely still some water down there at that portion of the bus stop, the third apex, as it were. Engine cover comes off the number 6.
A note from Chad Moorhead before I forget, in the YouTube chat, wants to give a shout out to Ginger Racing and PC Racing for some help with some parts that they needed yesterday. Sure, they wanted to carry those a little further today, but all the same, kudos to those teams for helping get a car to the grid this morning.
Yeah, and those names tend to pop up quite a bit whenever
sure
we're
do.
talking with people in GP1, just talking about how great, these teams are, working together. If you have an issue, PC Racing or Ginger Racing or somebody generally helps out there. And it really is a good testament to just how great it is, not only at GP1, but just running the series being, basically how close everybody is in terms of friendship.
Two things. The 99 has dropped into the 220s.
While the JTR 696 has dropped into the 214s.
Listen to that audio on board the 99 though. There's some really weird hesitation coming out of the throttle. That doesn't quite sound like that's user induced. Something that is peculiar.
Second point I wanted to make is the fact that the 983 is only into the 216s. So as the 99 starts to find its feet, as the conditions now start to dry up a little bit, we get a little bit little bit more grip and confidence back in the track. The 983 is slowly going to start to lose the advantage that it's had. Right, as the track gets quicker, everybody's going to get quicker, and the 983 being, obliterating lap times.
Now they've made an awful lot of hay while they could.
Yeah, and it's gotten them very far. I mean, they're down to 42 seconds, but we know that there's a chance here that we're going to run a little short on time, and if they're not able to take 6 or 7 second chunks, is that a lightning flash?
No, I think that's just the
that was a car.
Oh, now that was a lightning flash.
Yes. That was a car.
Was it?
I saw it was a car.
We saw it out the window. No, we saw it out the window too.
He's
Jake.
making a joke, Brendan.
I got
oh
you.
My God.
Listen. I get it.
It's an automatic system, guys. We can't tip anyone off.
Yeah.
There's still time for a little espresso, Brendan.
There's a Red Bull that was delivered to me that I haven't had yet. I don't want to drink a Red Bull on it and stuff.
That's the best time to have a Red Bull.
No, it's not.
We've got all the Coca-Cola in the back we need.
That's true.
I do not drink Coca-Cola.
Oh, any soft drink. They're all back there. Something with caffeine.
Maybe an ice cream sandwich.
We've got to get through the rest of Le Mans after this.
Shh, that doesn't exist.
So the gap is down to 1.7 seconds now. Waiting for Will to Win to come across the line with a 15-1, so they are picking up pace as well. Don't forget, of course, any time that looks like they're perhaps dropping a few seconds could easily be traffic induced. That was a very clear lap for them. JTR 14.3. So yeah, as good as the JTR BMW is, the next fastest car is a Cayman, which is interesting. A lot of the other BMWs seem to be struggling to get down to that pace, and we've been questioning their how the BMW traction control systems are dealing with difficult conditions all race. This possibly is part of that.
If we do get some extended running here, let's keep an eye on the 986 as it relates to the 111, because that 111 is going to keep dropping time, doing 225s as everybody else is speeding up into the 16s, 17s, 18s.
Have they dropped off the lead lap at this point?
The 111? I believe so, but I can't confirm that yet.
No, they have not. Only a minute and 40 behind.
Okay.
So something interesting has just kind of happened in that the 99 has finally cleared the choice car, and I wonder if that's going to free them up a bit.
As they try to get to the inside of the Pinnacle Cayman down towards the chicane.
It backs right out of that.
Yeah, and it's that hesitation, and I don't blame them for it, but it's that hesitation that is going to allow the gap to pull back out.
Yeah, I think what he's doing there is not wanting to get caught in the wheel tracks of the car ahead of him exiting the chicane in case they slip or something. You don't want to end up punching back into that car. Once you do that, you're out in the standing water.
You're out in the standing water, and you're also down a lap. So if you're points racing for a double points race, the risk and reward is absolutely not there. Right, so because that drops you back to 6th place, right, from what is a strong 2nd place.
Racer Motors, by the way, are being pushed down the pit lane towards the garage. So
that's
literally
the best way to catch
close
the
to the sun there.
Yeah, literally just as they were about to take the lead from ridiculously far back after all the problems earlier, almost within like.
This is the lead. This is the lead.
And a 2:14.4 from the 983 as that happens, as a margin now to 30 seconds. Top 3 separated by 30 seconds. The 52 just pulls to the right to get past the Chandler car, and it forces the 99 up against the edge of the track and forces him to back out of it. And now he's put the number 131 M2 between himself and the number 99 Team GTR BMW.
It's good gamesmanship from the 99. 3 wide was probably not going to work, but they backed out of it once it was clear that it wasn't.
And that was definitely fair from the, I think, fair from the 52 there.
Yeah, I agree.
Just to slide a little to the right there. Also not a place you want to be caught 3 wide really very often, but especially in the wet.
I feel like I feel like the 52 might be having a little bit of trouble on the rears now.
Yeah, and let's. Is this 52 in front of us?
Yeah.
Yes,
Holy
yes,
cow.
this is it.
Holy cow! Look at the margin. The 99 has pulled in a straight line, headed down into the braking zone for the bus stop.
But it stalled out. It stalled out as soon as it slips out of the slipstream.
I felt like he lifted.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Lifted.
Didn't want to end up on the outside.
His VMAX is about 157, 158, so he could have done a lot more than that.
52 sends it deep there.
Is the goal to exit here and make the pass before 1?
I don't think so. I think they're really just trying to put pressure on the 52 and try to make the move on the infield, because I don't feel like I don't get a sense of confidence in the car coming into turn 1 or into the chicane for that matter. I feel like the move here is an infield pass, but I could be proven wrong into turn 1 here.
Let's not forget here that every time these guys battle and have to back out of the throttle and hold each other out, that 983 is closing.
Exactly, it's under 30 seconds now, and it is going very quick.
Yeah, it's going to be under 25 when they get back to the line here, I think.
Yep.
24.6, yep. I mean, at this point, they have 5 more laps before this 2-car battle is a 3-car battle.
This is it's frustrating to watch because you understand why he's doing it. You understand why he has to play it safe around traffic. But you're watching the car in front just pull away as he does it. It feels to me, guys, like the 99 still has a huge pace advantage over the 52, but because they don't feel like they can take risks in traffic, it's costing them an awful lot of time, and including to the 983, like JT was describing.
Yeah, I mean, oof, man, skylights up again. Every
honestly,
time.
I'm going to be honest, Brendan. That is further out in the distance than they have been in the past.
Oh,
it's just
sure.
The sky is darker.
Exactly. Yep, I completely agree. But it is providing a very dramatic backdrop to what we've got going on at the moment. And I appreciate that there's still 73 minutes left. But, you know, we've got a damp and drying track. We've got gaps closing all the time. We've got a nose-to-tail battle for the lead. And this cloud, literal cloud hanging over and around the speedway that could put a pause to things here with no guarantee that we're going to be able to get that going again.
Possibly 99 actually getting full overlap into the chicane.
I think that'll be
on
it.
the inside.
He's giving it up. 52's giving it up.
Yeah.
But the 99 is going to get bulked here in traffic in the bus stop.
Should have enough pace on the front straight to hold off. The 52 hasn't been able to have any kind of top end advantage in the 99.
Yeah.
Even with a run. You should see them coming down now.
170.
There's the 99 crossing the line in the lead by about a second. Exactly a second. Now how quickly does the 983 get onto the back of these 2 cars? And also how quickly does the 99 bolt away?
Well, so the 99's cleared them at the bus stop and done a 2:16.4.
Oh wow, yeah. Where's the 983?
It's not in. That is the 983.
It should be coming across the line
It's
right
in the
about
pits.
now.
It's in the pits. It's the charcoal gray Cayman headed down the pit lane now.
So when do we expect the leading 2 cars, Joseph? And I assume this is.
They are about due. They're really all on about. Well, I said yeah. Okay, I think that's right. I think they're all on about the same.
The
distance.
696 is in the pits as well, by the way. So yeah, this is all kind of.
There's a bunch of GTO cars that are in. The 01 is in. I think that's the Kingpin. 77 that's in ahead of the W2W car.
Yep.
I think we're at a point here where it's still going to be basically a full fill because the track is continuing to dry up. There's no guarantee that we're going to get more weather, and the track will be a little slower, especially with traffic taking it easy.
Yeah, but you've got to push. You've got to push this stint as far as you can, and you've got to get as much fuel in as you can. As you say, there's no guarantees on any of this stuff.
But
I think the Kingpin car is going to be sent out ahead of the 986. Sorry, the 983.
But knock on aluminum bleachers, the lightning is staying away.
Who's just headed back out on track? Is it the Pinnacle car? It is. Oh, there goes the 983. Just balked a little bit by the number 127 from Pinnacle. take a moment to appreciate the fact this will be the only night running we get this year in WRL.
Yeah, it's been nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah, it really has. Also, the environment's changed a little bit. The spectators have gone, right? There's really nobody, there's no packs of cars or full parking lots other than where the crew have parked down behind turn 3. This is now just...
I think this is the 99 pulling off into the runoff area at turn 1. Yeah, because they're slow on the...
Yes,
slow on
you're
the,
exactly right.
On board.
Listen to that. That sounds broken.
They've done a controller with the lead again and carried on.
Yep. They've just reset, allowed 2 cars to go by.
The 52 did retake the lead, by the way, because 52 all of a sudden did a 16 just following the 99 around.
Well, I mean, there's something to that, right?
I don't understand why they've done that. I mean, they're due to pit in a couple laps. I don't know why.
Well, it depends on what the sensor...
That's true.
What issue the sensor creates. If the sensor puts them into limp mode and says you have to crawl back to the pits at 25 miles an hour, then yeah, of course you stop and you reset. Ooh, contact at turn 3. It's looped the second, I think that's the second Pinnacle car, the blue and white one, that's been hit down at the apex of 3.
Turn 3.
Well, it was hit at the apex, exit
there
3
it
is
is
where the car is. There it is, 326. So if we have a replay on this one, I think we'll catch the offender pulling away from the scene of the crime. So, the next couple of here we go. This will be the incident from the right side of your shot.
That's the best angle we've got for it.
Is that the
609?
131?
609's on the inside, isn't it?
No, that's the Chandler car. That'll be the 131. Yeah. There's the recovery for the Pinnacle car, so that's carried on its merry way.
Confusingly, the fastest car on the track last time was the 421 Purple winning car, which was the one that was just hunted down and caught past by the 983, who has just come across the line in 5th. Wow, that was right behind the 111 by 8 seconds. Bearing in mind that the 983 is pitted and the 111 hasn't since they last changed positions. So that shows the pace difference.
Remember that number, 341. That's the pit stop and out lap for
Guys,
the number 983.
Look out your window at the 99 and tell me if anything looks different.
No, what's happening there? Why is he on the banking?
So race control is looking for lights on the 99, which will have been the second time that something like that's happened, where someone's had to reset the car and the lights have been in a slightly different configuration.
I can't see a car going with no lights.
So the running lights are on, but it doesn't look like there's actual beam headlights that are on. Yeah.
Man,
it's tough
your
to tell.
predictions are going all over the place.
I'm not even gonna bother. Just kidding, I am gonna bother.
I refresh it every lap and it changes.
Oh, does it? Wow, you are murdering the server. I didn't realize people were actually making use of that. That's pretty fun.
I think that 99 is still not right. They were close to 100 miles an hour minimum speed at the apex of the kink, 96 to 100. That time they were down closer to 80. I think that car is still nursing an issue.
Big Mission, the 336, I believe, has pitted.
Whoa, a big flash.
They go from a 6-lap lead to a 5-lap lead. Oh, I see where those flashes are.
Yeah. Again, we're not registering. I don't actually see any cloud to ground on the board behind us at all. Even from that storm to the north.
For me, that's about 11 miles out, so we're still safe.
212.8 for the 983.
That is wild.
First fast lap after their pit stop. They're still on the lead lap, by the way.
So here's the thing with all this.
Oh, and they did pass the 111 on that lap because they were 11 seconds faster.
The thing in all this that I fear the 99 crew might be missing is, I think on net, I think the 983 is probably past them now.
If not,
With that
yeah,
stoppage,
very soon.
it's
Yes.
close, yeah. Yeah, 16.8 that time.
But between the stop and the general pace differential.
Yeah.
Man, he's really sailed it off there in turn
696 is still the fastest car on the track, and 11.6 on the last lap. And I think they're about to move back into the top 10 again.
That's the thing about these long races, right? There's no do-over like there is on Sunday if you make a mistake on Saturday.
Yeah.
Whether it was a mistake or an electrical gremlin, it's done their race. I mean, so early on.
Well, yes. Let's not write the book on fuel economy just yet here. We're down to 1 hour 5. And I don't know how many laps that is since the last pit stop for both the 52 and the 99. But now they've gone farther than the number 983 by a couple of laps.
Yes.
And we are hovering around that one stint. Now, the track is going to continue to get faster as long as we don't get any more rain. So that will bring the stint time down. The maximum stint time will continue to drop as the track gets faster. But as things stand, all of these cars are right on the edge of being able to do this potentially on, well, one more stop if you're the 99 and the 52. The 983, I think, may be firmly outside of that window.
So I think, for whatever it's worth, I think we're probably looking at a finishing lap of lap 238.
Okay.
So if you want to look at lap times, I think maybe we go back from that.
Well, this stint has already gone on 29 laps for the 52, which is to take us up to 239.
Which car?
For the 52, and 31 laps now for the 99. So, if your projection number is right, there's a chance here that
I think the 983 has another stop to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was going. Now, some of this will have been, they've been pushing that car flat out since, we went back to green. But I think they're at a point now where they want to see these next two cars come in, and then things to be done. And to just bid on that. Because I think you're right. I think they've been going quickly enough that they are probably going to end up in the overall race lead, although 14 for them and a 14 for the 99 is even between them. But I think you're right, Joseph. I think there's a really good chance that the 983, actually, I'm certain the 983 is going to owe us one more pit stop. I think the chances are still high that the 52 and the 99 are going to be able to make it home on one more from here, right? Which means that the margin on track is kind of the actual margin to play with. If everybody's going to have to make one more stop, minus the difference in fuel time.
I noticed the 99 still got their wipers on, and I wonder. this is I'm sure overanalyzing, but there's a part of me that's like, I wonder how much of the tiptoeing might be psychological.
They're not really tiptoeing. They're one of the fastest cars on the track.
Maybe the reset
feels like
did help.
Yeah, no, I think they've got an intermittent problem, electrical, that they every now and again have to sort out. Because yeah, they're like that 14.8 on the last lap is extremely competitive in this field.
12.4 from your race leader.
Sure, 983 did an 11.3 that last lap. The JTR Motorsports car did a 9.1. so they're still 3 seconds faster than the leader in the same car, essentially.
'99 is in. The dual blue LEDs down the A-pillars of that BMW M4 come down the pit lane at 35 miles an hour.
If they win this, having had to reset the car on track twice in the last hour and a half.
3 times. It did it once in the skid pad right as we were coming back to green from the red. It did it once at the apex of, or the pit lane cones at turn 1, and then once again in the runoff at turn 1. It's done it thrice now.
That's, I mean, that is, it's remarkable that it's had to do it. It's I think maybe more remarkable that it's still in this.
Worth noting the 52 has obviously carried on.
The 421 has gone through into second place, by the way, with the 99 in the pits.
That's no surprise. There's a 56-second gap across the line, which I think includes a little bit of pit lane time for the 99.
No, the 55-second gap is to the 52.
Oh, yeah, good call.
There's only 17 seconds to the 99.
So they will
also
vary.
that 421 has been quicker than the 99 car a lot recently. It's really picked up pace.
Caymans are quick in these sort of mixed conditions. Oh, slow 58 down the front straightaway. Your GTU leader.
Second time it's been slow, or called slow in the last 5 minutes.
There's the 983.
Yep, they've gone through, so they're
rocketed past the 99.
So they're
not
ahead.
Close.
Yeah, ahead of the 99 on the same. Well, depends whether they can make it to the finish. But they moved.
Are you talking about the 421?
No, the 983.
I'll be honest with you, with the pace that 983 has and the margin it's already clearly pulled out on the still stationary number 99, there is a world where they could come in and make a splash and not lose.
Yeah,
there goes the 99.
It's going to be one can. They're not going to need more than one can.
I think they already have that kind of a gap.
Yeah, exactly my point.
Yeah.
Exactly my point. And it's only going to build as the 99 comes back up to speed and back out, cycles back through time.
Yeah,
again.
there was a 9.9 that last lap from the 983, so it's got at least a couple of seconds of lap on a healthy 99, and we don't know how healthy that car's going to stay.
Have we had a penalty to the... No, 606 is pitted, and
By
that's
the way-
elevated the 348 back up to second in GP2 temporarily.
Correct,
That
9.9
9.9 was 5
It was a
seconds
40-second gap.
Okay.
Yeah, the 52 can go more quickly than that, than the 15-1 it just did, but it hasn't been doing it consistently,
Guys,
which is the issue.
on YouTube, Mark Martin says the 983 has done its final stop.
Wow. Now...
I think they're effectively in the lead at this point.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Oh,
so, too.
52's... no, sorry, that's a Chandler car. Never mind. That's not the 52.
It's kind of funny. All this sort of chaos has kind of brought us back to the WRL of about 2 or 3 years ago, where it's now ACP, GTR, and WTW.
I know.
New cars, same faces.
And potentially not a
Thunder Bunny.
BMW winning somehow.
Yeah, that's what a. I mean, even if it doesn't pan out, the pace in the wet when everybody else was running 15 seconds slower was incredible.
Well, they've come from over a lap down to being. I think they're effectively in the lead. We all think they're effectively in the lead now.
In like half an hour, it wasn't that much time.
Yeah, it wasn't that much time. And
15,
that car's not been particularly competitive today, to be honest.
15's been docked a lap for having 6 people over the wall. That'll be their second pit stop infraction. I think that's one of the AOA cars.
Yeah.
More pressingly, the 86 3 Fast Guys and Denny also a lap for their second pit stop infraction of the day. They only had a lap gap over the 195. That could be critical.
Yeah, it's showing them in the... well, they actually haven't come back through yet. Leader is in? Question mark?
The GTU leader definitely is.
Well, I see the 58 there. This is the 52, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. 52 is just trip timing the pit lane now, and will come to a stop. So the 983. So there goes the 99. Actually.
The 421's actually going to take me first.
What's happened there?
Unless they pit.
Wait. The 99's just come through. Has the 99 lost?
Yeah, they're a lap down. I thought their pit stop seemed long.
4:15.
Yeah, long.
That's 3:41 was the WTW time. I made a mental note of that. So that's what 4:15 and 19. So 34 seconds it gave up just in the stationary time.
There goes
in the
the
pits.
421 into the lead.
To which car? Brendan?
That is what. Sorry, to the 99. The 99. The 99 ceded 34 seconds to the WTW car in pit lap time alone.
I don't think that's actually that unreasonable of a pit stop for the 99.
No,
I
it was.
I think that's basically on trend.
It was. I saw 408s earlier, 415s, 420. There's some variation there, but it's all roughly the same. The 52 is now the question mark, and what do we have for green flag pit 3?
Firing up.
Yeah, that's
quick.
quick.
The 983 hasn't come through yet.
No, that's quick.
There
for
it is.
52.
There's the 983.
983 is going to go into the lead here.
It's
not by much,
it's
but
not
it's
actually the lead. The 421's already out.
Sorry, the effective race
effective
lead.
race lead.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
But yeah, it's not much in it. It's going to be 5 seconds or so.
Yep. Once the 52 gets up to speed, I agree with you.
Now, the interesting thing is the drier this gets, the more it's going to come to the BMWs. So if it does dry out over the last hour, we might see this pace advantage flip the other way with 52 chasing the 983 down.
So the question is, how much is it going to dry out? We've got 54 minutes left, 55 minutes left on a track that is largely dry around the banking.
I'll be honest,
but doesn't have any more energy being put into it
so we're seeing,
outside of the tires.
We're seeing the fastest cars below 210. The fastest laps we've seen all day, 203. Well,
it is
201s, but 203s realistically for the guys who are currently.
I think it's still sprinkling. If you look at the windshield, the upper right-hand corner of the number 99.
Yeah. No, I think that might have just been a little bit of pickup from the car ahead. I don't know.
Okay.
I've got it on the tiny screen.
It's really difficult to tell.
Because it looks like it's staying in the same spot.
I can't see anything out the window, but it's kind of hard to tell.
There were rumors of some additional droplets here.
So, Martin, if you can go ahead and look out from under your awning, let us know if it's raining.
Yeah. That answer will 100% be yes, given that car's pace in the wet.
Well, it's been this level of sprinkling for the better part of like 15 minutes. I don't think it would make a track anymore wet. I think these cars are gonna undo any of that. It's gonna slow down, certain places like here, the kink where people are taking it safe, especially the bus stop where it looks like we've had a small kind of we'll call it a little bit of runoff that's kept that part of the track wet. But everywhere else, I think it's basically good to go. Now, who is this here?
JTR's done a 2:07.5, so they are within 7 seconds of the fastest lap of the race.
983's come through and done a 2:08.4. Here comes your 52.
So that 2:08.4 is almost within 3 seconds of their fastest lap of the race. So we're basically dry.
Yeah, it's 3:42.2 is the pit stop lap for the 52. So they have done everything right.
Yeah, they clearly short fueled that.
They put it until the end, which will only be.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
because they didn't need a full stop.
Right.
To make it.
Exactly.
So the gap is 9.3 seconds, and that would be the effective lead once the 421 hits. The 421 doesn't have the pace to catch the 983, so it's 4 seconds slower.
No, the only card it really has to play there as a spoiler in the lead trio we've been talking about is the fact that it's going to have a shorter final stop.
Yeah, the gap was 37 seconds though, so it's not.
It's not enough. No. But that's really the only.
It'll draw it within a minute.
I'll tell you what, it'll keep it in contention with the 99, I think.
Guys,
well, the 99 is 3.6 seconds faster on that lap, so I'm not convinced about that either.
I just mean when it merges back out of the pit lane, not necessarily.
Actually,
towards
yeah,
the end of the race.
The gap is 46 seconds back to the 99. So yeah, for now
now it's a minute. It's a minute 39 from the 421 back.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So we're inside the last hour. If we don't do it now, we're never gonna have a good time to do it.
Yeah, we got to do it. Yep.
So when we come back, we'll have 50 minutes to go, and we'll have a lot of unanswered questions in quite a few classes. So we'll throw some ads up, and then we will see you on the other side with, inexplicably, another barn burner after about 4 or 5 hours of rain delay. Be right back.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Your SUV is a multi-purpose tool, like a corkscrew fish scaler. And that means your tires should be multi-purpose too. Like these Cooper rugged Treks. They're tough, but also run smooth as butter. And with dual sidewalls, it's like having a multi-tool that can look like a completely different multi-tool. Don't take that idea, by the way. I'm gonna patent it. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
Sentinel by Candelaria Racing Products is a comprehensive motorsport video system incorporating live streaming, local recording, picture-in-picture, flag status, leaderboards, data overlays, and more. Perfect for endurance racing, sprint racing, and HPDE. Sentinel includes everything you need to get started. With the ability to control the live feed from the cloud and GPS auto start, you will never miss an on-track moment. What are you waiting for? Get your Sentinel today.
Focus, guys. We're in a race to the finish, okay?
Here's where the rubber meets the road.
Have these initiatives moved the needle, like, at all?
Well, let's shift gears a minute.
We're really kind of at the apex here.
We need to put the pedal to the metal. We need to nail those hairpin turns, cross that finish line, and take that checkered flag. Woo!
Hit the track with the world's largest motorsports calendar, track day insurance, and more. Hagerty. Let's drive together.
It's your Uncle Cooper. Sure, once in a blue moon, you might need your tires for hauling a horse in a hailstorm. But most days, you're gonna need your tires for tougher things, like teaching your sister's kid how to parallel park. Thankfully, these Cooper Enduro Maxes aren't just tough, they're everyday tough. Okay, there's a lot of improvement. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
Back at Daytona International Speedway, the conclusion of the WRL, powered by Hagerty Daytona 14-hour. Your overall race leaders into the pits for the final time on lap 216 with just under 50 minutes remaining. And if you believe what the competitors say, this will be the last stop for the last of the leaders. So we'll wait and see whether there's any truth to that. At the moment, the 52 has just come through. 11 seconds now behind the number 983. He's actually picked up time on the 983 that time through. Has the Tangerine Associates car. It's not much. Oh, it's close to 2 seconds, actually.
I really think this is going to swap around at the BMW. As the track gets drier and drier, the BMWs are going to come into their own like they were earlier on in the drive.
Yeah, the other question will be their tire life there as well. What has a 983 taken out of its tires? You know, pushing through that wet portion of the race after the restart. What's left in them? How has the 52 or the 99 conserved their tires? Have they been going full chat, you know, around the banking?
7.6 for the 99.
Yeah.
Although it is 40 seconds off of the 52.
It is.
And that's a bit, yeah, that is a bit far.
Where's the 421? Oh, there it is, actually. They're going to come out side by side. Nope, they're not. 99's going to go through just into P3 ahead of the 421. So with that final stop, the 421's fallen from first to fourth. Top of the Thunder Bunny cars. It'll put it ahead of its number 111 stablemate, who has also just made its final stop.
So can I manufacture some drama?
Sure.
If I were in the position of the 983, would I bluff? Would I put out a message that says, "Oh, we're done with pit stops"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm not entirely convinced that I believe what Mark Martin is saying.
Okay. All
I
right. I want to throw that energy out there. I want to get that. I want to.
It's close.
I'm not.
The guy is a 24 hours of Sebring winner. I trust him.
Yeah, he won it.
But also, if I was going to play a bluff, which I wouldn't, because I think it's silly, I would tell them that I have one more stop to do, so don't bother attacking us. I don't think I'd do it that way around. I'd rather do it the other way around.
They might push. They might make a mistake. They might consolidate.
I'm not entertaining it.
Well, and that 99 has been already pushed to its technical limit a couple of times.
Well, it's not the 99; it's the 52. They're really in a race with.
Well, sure, but let's take this lead group of four, you know, as a whole. The 99's already had some issues with sensors and the electronics in that car. The 52. Yes, I agree.
Unfortunately, there isn't
more worried about.
There isn't a lead group before because the gap between second and third is 40 seconds.
Yeah.
I have. Okay. So the pit laps for the 983. that last stint was 29 laps. Is that right?
Yes.
I shouldn't have said that because that lap, the 99 was 4 seconds faster, which means they'll catch it in 10 laps. So
206.6. Is that JTR's done it almost exactly the same lap?
So 206 plus 29, that takes us to 238 or 235, sorry.
Yeah.
And we think we might be able to take this race to 238.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And I think, well, let's see. Let's take a look.
Are we assuming that cars have been running their stints dry?
You have to.
I think in these circumstances, the weather being so unclear, I think you had to just push it as far as it would go and stay out of the pits in the hopes that you wouldn't get caught out by
and
a
also
red.
that stint, which was partially wet, is going to give you the best mileage that you're going to see all race.
So I'm going to throw one other very small but potential wrinkle into this.
Full course cautions.
Not just that.
Okay.
we may not be done with the wet stuff before the end of this.
Ooh, okay. Now there's
Drama.
a projection.
Yeah, that weather app of choice says rain in 25 minutes.
That,
which would be 20 minutes before we get a checkered flag. And I'm reasonably confident that that would come without the strings of lightning attached.
I hope so. That would be such a bummer.
Well, the 99's just about off at the Le Mans chicane.
What a weird line there.
I think they bailed out. Yeah, they caught. Is that the Camaro ahead of them? I think they caught, and they bailed out of it.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate. It might be the choice car.
By the way, the Thunder Bunny car was only 3 seconds behind them at the start of the lap, so they should be right with them now.
There's choice and then Thunder Bunny. Okay.
Yeah, Thunder Bunny is 1.8.
Even despite that, they caught the 52 by 3 seconds.
Lap times at the top have gone the other way. 209.1 for the leader, 213.4 for the number 52.
Well, JTR has done a 205, so I'm not sure there's conditions.
No, I didn't. Sorry, not going the other way in terms of now we're starting to go slower again. Just that after a couple of laps of the 52 being quicker than the 983, now it's reversed and the gap's gone out again to 14.2. Any changes in the production classes we need to be worried about? I know we had a note from the folks down in Chattanooga.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, because Ginger Racing is going to be due back in. They're currently third because of the pit stop cycle. NFC is only 28 seconds back. They should be good to go. Because Ginger's going to be due here. Alamonte is going to also be due, but I think they might be able to keep second from NFC. And the 336 is still 5 laps up ahead.
Down in GP3, I make sure I have this right. 3 Fast Guys and Denny is 18.6 seconds behind the class leading number 195. But, is that the 983?
So, I want to make sure we get this note in on the
Hang on, Joseph. Hang on. I think our race leader may have just put it. It is! The 983 is in the pits, putting 1 can of fuel into the front of that car.
So, Mark Martin posted in the YouTube chat.
1 can and gone. 5 gallons.
Mark, you lied to me. I trusted you.
Across lines, they're going to be down to 4th at this point.
It'll be 40, probably 50 seconds, we think, up to the race leader.
Sounds about right.
Well, minus second, so it'll be about 40. I didn't think that car was going to be able to make it home.
I wonder if maybe they misjudged how fast the track would dry.
That's what Mark says, and I don't think I believe him.
You know what? I don't anymore either.
I mean, 10 seconds a lap will make a big difference in how far you know,
And-
time-wise are going to be able to go.
And fuel burn.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
99
Well, we
is
said
in horrific traffic right now.
Oh man, the 555 is there. The Lexus is there. The 701, I think, is
The
605. Sorry, yeah, 605. Yep.
Looks like they're pacing.
But we mentioned when we went back to green here, as the conditions changed and as we got down to this last stop period of the race, it was going to be the team that got the fuel number the most correct. And not to say the 983's been caught out, I just think they legitimately wouldn't have had the range regardless.
Oh, that was
yeah,
coming out too. First
yeah, and it gave up. I don't know what car that is that passed it at the end. Oh, it's the 4 from PC Racing. So let's watch the leaders cross the line here on timing, especially because these gaps are going to be important. There's the 52, a 212 flat.
So that is actually the slowest of the leading 4 cars, but they've got like 40 odd second lead. Actually, it's not that much, is it? It's 20. Yeah, in the region of 25, 30 seconds last lap. But 30, 35 seconds last lap.
Next up would be the 99.
Yes, should be.
So
there it is.
There it is.
I missed
25.8. There's the Thunder
our...
Bunny car. Sorry, Joseph. That's 28 seconds up to the lead, and there's the 983. It's 33.8 seconds.
Okay, that answers my question. I was trying to figure out where we'd actually cycle through on the 983.
I thought it was going to be close to 40. It's actually right there at 33.841 is the number across the line.
Right. Okay.
With some pretty significant traffic here, actually.
Mark says, "Give it 15 minutes." I think he's saying.
That's.
I assume he's talking about the rain.
Yeah.
By the way, we noticed how badly that GTR 99 got balked on that lap? They were still a second faster than the 52.
Yeah. I think the 52. Well, it's been in traffic, but that car hasn't been consistently below the 210 mark like the 983 and the 99 have been.
So we need to hit this point about GP2, right? Got a note from Chattanooga. Core appears to have made their last stop. I agree with that. Harrison did as well. So this is about 15 minutes old by now. Zach Mortimer into the 348 until the end.
Oh, that's the race leader that Gabe's
Oh, it is? Up. Oh, good catch, Gabe. Is this why that car's done a 212?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Well, he's on the
I'm
brakes
not,
there.
Because that's 212 is within range of what they've been doing. I think that's on this lap.
No, you might be right.
I think this is going to come around and be like a 220 or something.
Yeah.
Guys, can you, if you haven't have eyes,
too.
can you get a sense for whether or not he's got brake lights on? Is he dragging brakes somehow?
The ACP car?
Yeah.
I think he did because he was going onto the grass, which is quite slick right now.
I think this is a 52 here. Yep. 218.
Yeah, so
and that is time it can ill afford at this point.
Its brake lights look normal at the moment.
Yeah,
that's a
gone
big.
off there.
That's going to be 10 seconds. So the gap's going to be down to about 15, I think.
Here's the 99 right here.
15 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
So now,
yeah,
that gap that we said was unbridgeable, or I said was immediately bridged. So
that yellow AOA car is terrifying.
All right,
yeah,
so we have
55.
We've now got the top 4 within 25 seconds, but we can almost ignore the leader if they're going to be this much off the pace.
Oh,
well,
that is a take.
Well, no, they're not going to be that much. They're going to be 3 or 4 seconds off the pace. You can't defend if you're that much slower, really.
Well, and it's more than mistakes. It can defend if it's 1 or 2 seconds slower.
What's this? We had a yellow flag that appears to have cleared, unless that was a recovery vehicle in the background.
Don't see any yellows or lights.
Okay, so just to put a bow on the 348 situation, they are stretching. So 348 might be due a splash also. If they take that splash, or if the rain comes and slows down the race, they might be able to hold second. They're easily on the podium here. That's not a worry for them. If the question is going to be the fight for second with the 606.
There there goes the 348 we just mentioned.
195 comes in. That's going to promote Fast Guys and Denny back up into the lead in GP3.
On board the aforementioned 348. Nice that we've gotten, I assume it was red flag induced, but we've gotten a couple of these onboards back.
Yeah, it does make me wonder if we had some in the second stint, or the second, after the first intermission, I guess. But
yeah,
no matter, we have them now.
2094.
I think we're in the
52.
yellow flag zone here.
It doesn't look like it.
There's no other reason for the 348 to not pass the 696.
696, yeah. Well, there's no reason
The
for it to be passing
99
the 696 to be
The 99
frank.
was fast enough on that lap. Well, basically 2 seconds faster on that lap.
So is the race here between the 99 and the 983?
The 99 appears to be the fastest of the top 4.
I think the race is between the 52, the 99, the 421, the 983, and the Sky.
Well, the 983 has lost all of its pace recently. Not necessarily saying it won't come back.
They were in some pretty heavy traffic there, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the 212 that
They
time
do
is
have
not
30
great.
seconds to make up on the 52.
It's actually lost 3 seconds that lap.
Yeah, but we've also seen the 52 kind of struggle a little.
True. Yep, and it would need to do, I mean, even a second and a half, I don't think it's going to be enough for it to be able to maintain its lead for the next 34 minutes. I think it's going to have to be within less than a second of the 99 car, and I with Scott here, I don't know that it's actually capable of that. Now, the only way this goes the other way is if we get a really meaningful, rain shower towards the end of this that changes the track conditions quickly enough to go in the favor of the Caymans, I guess.
Quickly,
Cayman.
I want to make the point that the 58 has, as far as I can tell, has locked up the win.
In GTU.
The gap back to the 555, I think, is such that I don't think it can be passed. Yeah, 19 laps. So that'll be race run in GTU. The 59, the team car, will be looking to get around the 3 and the 555. So there is a Stratus 1-2 on in GTU, depending on whether the 555 and the 6 can get going together.
3 seconds taken out of the race lead. And a good lap from Thunder Bunny as well, a 7.5. Now he's not gaining on the GTR car, but
Nice.
he did pick up time on the 52.
But he
As
lost
did
time
the
to the
983.
983.
I mean, I'm actually with Scott here. I mean, if the 52 can't get itself down into the 6s and 7s, even 25 seconds and 3 seconds a lap is not going to get you more than what's 8 laps down to about 15 minutes remaining.
So
basically everybody's going to come together with 15 minutes left. And
if
it's gonna be a
GTR doesn't demonstrate that they can overtake any better than they did on the previous stint, then they're just going to get bottled up behind the 52, and then we end up with everyone together.
And then it rains.
Well, if that happens, the 983 is going to win by 40 seconds. But...
Well,
did we ever get confirmation that was Cameron Lawrence on board that car? I don't know if Mark had said anything.
How many Daytona 24-hour winners does W2W have?
Oh, did he say it was a former Daytona 24-hour winner?
Yes, when he was talking trash right before they had their spot show.
Nice, Mark.
Happens to the best of us. And also to me.
Cameron Lawrence must have won a GT in like one of the Prep 2 years. It's the only thing I can think of there.
I feel bad that I'm going to have to Google this, but I am going to have to Google it.
Ooh, slightly slower car on the apron headed for the pit lane. Leader comes through 210 flat. Again, not enough. GTR comes through on a mostly clear lap, a 5.8.
2015 in the Viper with Al Carter, Dominic Farnbacher, Ben Keating, and Kuno.
Okay,
There you go.
nice.
Yeah, fair enough.
Riley Motorsports.
So that has been put aside. Cameron Lawrence has a watch and I don't. Ooh.
Sorry. The 59 drifted from the bottom of the tri-oval up to the middle as the 983 was coming around the outside of it. GTR fastest car on track that lap.
Top 4 now, 22 seconds.
Yeah, it's hard to see a scenario outside of the one Scott mentioned where the 99 isn't as decisive in passing as it ought to be. Now remember, the track isn't in the same shape as it was, an hour plus ago, last time this was an issue. Right? We've dried out pretty significantly. The pace is down into the 5s, which, let's not forget, is not all that far off the ultimate dry pace.
No, the fastest car on the track actually was the 401 in 9th place. As someone skipped through the bus stop, can't see who that is in the mess headlines.
So
2 cars skipped through the bus stop. That's unusual.
So we have confirmation.
3 cars skipped through the bus stop. I don't know if something's down.
No, there's
one
one
car off in the grass.
One in the grass.
Yeah, I think there's something.
Should we stay on that bus stop camera?
Yeah, let's do that, please.
So there's a call in turn 3 for debris, but yeah, I agree. This is a more interesting corner at the moment. We do have confirmation from Team GTR that that's not them going off of their own volition to reset that car. That is going into limp mode. They're doing it because they have to, not because the handling is off.
Yep. See, that can come back at any time.
Yeah, it is.
That's why
this race is such a series of dice rolls. It's unreal.
Anything could happen right now. We are under 30 minutes to go. We have potential weather. We have potential liability. We have traffic. Everything.
6 flat from the GTR. Yeah, I think that GTR car at the moment holds all of the cards except reliability.
It looks like whatever weirdness was happening at the bus stop has sorted itself out.
Yeah, the debris that's at turn 3, I can pick out the window here. It's just in the middle of the corner to the left of the racing line. But
it's honestly a little. It's a little bit like. It's a little bit like one car went wide and then the other 2 kind of psyched themselves out.
Yeah, there was a bit too much of a gap between them for that. I know what you mean.
Guys, also, I have fantastic news.
It's about to rain.
No, Deep Eddie's back out.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
They managed to finish the engine and transmission swap.
Now that car will not be classified at the end of the race because they worked on it during a red flag. But holy cow, what a marathon effort!
Sorry, should we go back to the GTR 99 on board now? That position might actually change on this lap.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea. Let us go to the 99 on board. Yeah, you're absolutely right because it's inside 4 seconds now.
3:48.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, I know. Guiding.
Guys, I think we're missing a Scion FRS.
Oh no.
Guys?
Yeah.
No, I think they've pitted. I think that's okay.
Are you sure?
They're not in the pit lane at the moment.
No. They had pit earlier.
They weren't due.
Yeah. They're not due. They were good to go.
Yeah, and that margins out to 3 laps. It should have been in the lead by this point, I think.
Okay,
yeah, because overnight pit.
So we've lost the number 99 camera on board.
Oh, bomber.
Yeah.
Bomber.
696
so
is
there,
salmon. There is the 52.
696 went into the paddock. I didn't want to mention it because we had other things going on, but after their day.
You say that. They were about to go back into the top 10 again. I feel like I
yeah.
said that about 4 times, but still, they're now going to drop a bunch of positions, which is championship points, of course.
ACP's starting to find it. 2064. Replay down at the Le Mans. Is that
I think we're looking for potential impetus for these shortcuts. gap now down to 2.5. Guys, if you'd let us know when the 99 is coming through, we can pick that up on the start finish.
Yeah, it's not that hard to pick, that easy to pick out.
I think
sure.
the 99 is down at turn 6 and
Oh, yeah,
headed
there
out
it
onto
is.
the banking. You can see the blue LEDs.
Yeah.
So let's stay on this bus stop camera, and we'll wait until it comes back around, which ought to be here in the next 10 to 15 seconds.
Oh, that was a car cut in the grass.
That is- Oh, wait, is that the car that's just come out? the former JNR Civic?
Oh, the Deep Eddy car?
Yeah, it looked like that vinyl.
Tell. So there's, here we go. This will be, there goes, I think 401. There's the 52 with the yellow headlights, and there's a GTR car right behind it.
Yeah, so let's cut back over to the start finish line.
Yeah,
Just seeing that car cut in the
ooh,
grass.
that's spicy. Yep. Let's stay. That is the actual JNR car, actually. Let's go live here, Gabe, to turn 1.
I think this is them right now, is it not?
It is. Yep. Let's stay here and wait for them. They'll come in from the bottom left corner of your screen. Yellow headlights will be the 52. And then the 99 will come in behind it. That's the two of them together
Someone's
on the
gone
brakes into
straight.
turn number 1. Oh, it's the 52.
Well, that's straight through, and that's the lead back. Oh, that'll cost them huge.
Oh my gosh. So forget defending and can the 99 be decisive on the brakes. The 52 makes an unforced error on the brakes into turn number 1, and the car straight off, way off into the runoff.
They should have held on to second because they had another 14 seconds back to the 421. But those
Yeah, I
two
think
cars
so.
are both quick. Although actually, that was a pretty good lap from 52, which may be indicative of what led
Yeah.
to the mistake.
So
pushing the
this is slightly less important, I think, for the 52 and the 421. It's more important for the 983, who I think was going to need help with that 99 getting caught up behind the 52 and not able to make a pass, because I don't think it's quick enough. In fact, I know it's not quick enough in the dry to be able to make up that difference on its own.
No, it's got a good chance at seeing.
It's the reflection of the headlights
Oh.
in the glass.
Okay, it's very
Yeah.
confusing. It now is in a good position to take second overall, but well, GTR 99 could quite easily run to a whole control lead.
Right. Yes. Exactly. Right. There are
But
still
this'll be-
all of these.
This will be hanging in the balance
unknowns.
until the last lap anyway. On all else being equal, the 99 should be in a position to drive to the finish at this point. But yeah, their pace has been inconsistent, and obviously we've seen
Flat
the car-
tire 52.
Oh my
that may have been
gosh.
why they went straight then.
Yep.
986 past the 111.
So that 52 will be limping.
That's
home
them.
now.
That's their around turn 6. That's, oh my god.
That is
This is,
cruel.
yeah.
Long way.
To not even have the opportunity to challenge, right?
After the faultless run, I don't remember that car having a single issue all day.
I don't think that.
It's the first thing that's
Even
happened
as
to
all
it.
the other BMWs have.
And
That's about the one that has
the
it.
lead 3 cars have all crossed the line already, so that car's already lost tons of time. It's going to drop off the lead lap.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably gonna fall back into 6th, maybe 7th.
Yeah. The 983, if it's going to do this, it's got to do this
I mean,
brick by brick here and on merit.
A 6.2 that last lap, and you know we have that weather coming in.
well, actually, the 983 should be in a good position to challenge for second place on this lap, based on his current pace.
So here's the issue with the weather, and whether or not it's going to play a role in the lap time differential between these cars. Yes, the 983 was much quicker in mixed conditions. Everybody's been through that once already, was number 1. But I think the bigger point is that it's going to take time for the track to devolve back into a mixed and then fully wet state.
You're
And
saying
even
this
if
is going to get kind of misty to start. It's not going to be a straight
Well,
dump.
if it's, I don't think it's going to dump. No, it may rain, but even so, it's going to take 3 or 4 laps to get to that point, which might be 8 minutes, 10 minutes. And by that point, you've only got 10 more minutes in which you can be a couple of seconds quicker than the guy you're chasing. And that may just not be enough time.
Well, a couple of seconds, yes. 15 seconds.
Yes, and it was a lot earlier on, but like I said, everybody's kind of been through this the other way once. So they know where their cars have grip. They know how they can lean into their tires a little bit better.
That's true, but the progression we just went through is easier to manage than the progression we're about to enter.
True. Yes, I agree.
And so that's where somebody like, well, I'm going to assume based on context clues that we have young Cameron Lawrence in the 983.
Chattanooga didn't stretch it far enough.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yep, they're in.
They're coming in.
Okay. Well, if it's a quick splash, they've got...
It's close.
It is close.
They had a minute 30.
Will to win, number 983 just set their fastest lap of the race, 1.4 seconds behind the 421 Thunder Bunny car now for second overall. Both cars significantly faster than the 99 on that lap. So the top three are now split by just over 15 seconds.
Start time on this weather keeps getting pushed back.
I didn't think that we were going to have a race as dramatic as last year's Daytona 14 hours.
Guys, remember when we had to talk about pizza?
Boy, the ebb and flow.
And how?
Well, when you have two extended red flags, yeah.
Yeah.
But there were so many unknowns coming out of that red flag.
Yeah.
And I think Cameron Lawrence has maybe been the biggest unknown.
And he's
of
just
all.
put in his best lap of the race at a 2:05.2.
In any condition.
Yeah.
Never mind,
So I'd say the track is dry.
Yes.
Online, yes.
348 out of the pits.
That also suggests to me that that car doesn't have that much more to give.
Probably true.
I mean, yeah,
I think
he's got
maybe
to
the
push,
only
right?
place they can
Because you
lose
don't-
time is the bus stop. But
Well, and the other thing is that if it's going, and I think GTR can do more than a 2085, but if it is going to be 3 seconds faster than the GTR car, and it can get past the 421, it will actually catch before the end of the race.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's got to do this with some regularity. It can't.
Well, it needs the GT. It's more the GTR car. It's
Yeah.
the 208s, which it shouldn't do. It's a 206 capable car right now.
So I think we're looking at about 9 laps to go. I think we're probably finishing lap either
That'll take us
39
to
or
238.
38.
Yeah. Here's the 99 across the start finish line. 2087.
That's always. I hate to go off of that. I'm much more interested in whether or not the weather.
Oh, he's just battle for second. On the brakes into turn number 1. We get the turn 1 camera here, Gabe. I think we're going to see him side by side on the way into the corner.
He's done it around the outside. Move complete. 983 moves up to second place. That lap was a 207.2. So it wasn't quite as quick as the previous time around. Obviously being held up a little bit.
Pick him up at turn 3.
The gap is 13.5 seconds from GTR 99 to Will to Win 983.
These are the headlights there. 983 up ahead, then the purple and black number 421.
Yeah.
So how many laps to go, Joseph?
I think it'll be close. It'll be either 8 or 9.
So if it is 8 laps, 13 divided by 8 is about 1.5 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So they were exactly 1.5 seconds faster on that last lap. I don't think either car was driving
stupid.
I don't think either car was able to drive to their potential on that last lap, so we'll have to take a bit of an average.
After 4 hours of red flag, this race had no right to be. Although I guess it owed us something.
ACP has dropped so far down.
Oh,
to 6.
stopped car in the runoff at the bus stop there, guys. I think that's
NTO1.
the 59.
Checking race control. It is the 58. So this will be inconsequential unless it brings out a full course yellow.
Rain starting in 4 minutes now. Although it's been there or thereabouts for the last couple minutes, so that may not be completely accurate. We got some vortex theory going on here. There may be,
Right.
There's a 59. Cross start finish. Lights it off on a 58. Now, what do you do with that car if you're race control?
I mean, there's a driver inside of it. You can't just leave it.
Right.
Yeah, no,
More,
especially since
how do you recover it?
So there should
Pull
be.
it forward.
Have they come through the runoff?
Yeah, they've gone off there. Slid and then gone off the driver's left, and in the recovery they pulled it off.
Because that's not the first car to struggle to hit that second apex there.
No.
So you're going to have to move that car forward at the very minimum.
204.3 for GTR on that last lap. So that
this
stretched the lead out to 15.2 seconds
That's
again.
a ridiculous lap.
So this is a standing yellow here. This is not a waving yellow. The car is off track.
It's actually not a ridiculous. Like the 401 did a 202.7. So
wow.
there's more speed in the track.
Well, this may not be the fastest the track has been, but it'll certainly be the coolest.
You know what's funny?
The 52 never reappeared, by the way.
Oh, the 401, by the way, setting these incredible lap times, is only 1.6 seconds behind the 609, which is a teammate car. But that actually should. This is for 6th overall. That should change on this lap.
Okay, so the further we go, the more it looks like we're talking about a 239 lap race.
If GTR 99 can keep doing 204s, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of the cars behind can match that. But we know that car has had a habit of needing control of the lead occasionally. 15 seconds is touch and go whether that will be enough to be able to do one of them.
Well, remember, that car didn't have that issue until it started raining, and we've been dry now for a little while.
In GTU, so the fact that the 58 is stopped and they are the leader, that is inconsequential. Because they have enough of a
that
gap.
99's
that's slow.
Yeah, no, that is not up to pace past start finish for sure. It's pulling off.
It's happened again.
Oh my goodness. Oh
They don't have enough time. They don't
my
have enough time in
gosh.
hand.
Here comes the 983. Past start finish. The 99 is stopped. Brake lights are off. The car gets going. The 983 heads to the apex. They are going to meet at the apex of turn 2, side by side. Oh my gosh.
There's the lead change.
That is the lead change on track. 99 flicks the lights on and gets going again. The lead margin is a second.
That's the
in favor of the 983.
That's the Thunder Bunny car right behind as well, by the way.
Oh my gosh, the top 3 are within a second. What has happened? Now, we've got to be careful here. Don't forget we have the yellow down at the bus stop still. Because we're recovering that number 58 Stratus car. And we breathe deep. And we reset. And with 13 minutes left...
I'm going to assume the 99's onboard is dead. Otherwise,
It
if
is.
not...
Yeah.
Okay, it's a shame.
Rain starting in
like
1 minute.
They're going to hot pull this car from the bus stop, by the looks of things.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good call. Just move it forward and safely extract it out.
I think they've actually got to put it up on a flatbed, I think is what's going on there. So it's going to take a minute there. And like I said, they've got to really be cognizant down there. No passes under yellow of lap cars, and certainly no passes under yellow of each other.
Oh, there's a car flying through the bus stop shortcut.
Yeah.
Definitely made no attempt to stop.
The 401 through.
Eyes out to the left looking for our lead trio. There they are. Blue LEDs on the number 99. Not that one.
Yeah, that one's been
The second
confusing me
one.
for the last 15 minutes.
Yep.
There it is.
There's
Oh, has it gone back through?
It is.
The 99 is back through. Where has that happened?
Oh, but that is a change right there.
And it's gone back. The lead's changed hands again. The 983 is through into the lead, and a little bit of traffic through turns 1 and 2. They snake their way through that little S-bend down into turn number 3. The 99 is late on the brakes, but not late enough. The 983 wide of the apex. The 99 just tucks it in on the inside on the exit of turn 4 as our camera just drops
look
away
at
a
that
little
drive
bit.
off the corner.
It's really good. Really, really good for that number 99. On the outside into the kink, the move is done again. Although, no, it's not complete because the 983 hangs tough to driver's left around the outside at turn number 5, side by side for the race lead. With 11 minutes to go, GTR is through.
So here's the
done
thing.
again.
Here's the thing. If you look at the fast lap times, the 99s, in theory, got a pace advantage.
Yeah.
So the 983, Cameron Lawrence has put in an incredible lap, but it's still 3.5 seconds slower than what the 99 can do.
Yeah.
How much of this have they been holding in reserve? Have they been managing the gap?
Well, they shouldn't have been because
They
you know that car has to stop every
No,
now and again.
absolutely. The devil's advocate is unless they thought pushing the car was going to trigger limp mode, and now they have no choice. They have to.
Yeah, that could be. That could be down on the brakes into the bus stop again. Still through that yellow flag zone. The second car with the LEDs is going to be that number. That 99 is really quick in a straight line. And Cameron Lawrence sets sail around the banking again, trying to chase down that number 99. But you can see the gap go out, an extra 1 or 2 car lengths as they round the east banking there. I think that's where the 99 is making up a lot of its time. A lot of that, Scott, as you pointed out, the drive off of the corner from that car is pretty wild. Oh, it's doing it again.
Yeah.
It's doing it again, and this might be it for the 99. This one might be curtains. I don't know that it's going to have enough time to shut off and reset again.
Yeah, they pulled off again exactly the same way.
Yeah, I think this one might be it. Now, let's not lose track of the fact that the number 421 is right on the tail of the number 983 still.
That was a quick reset from 99.
It was,
going again.
but
I think, is it like when it hits top gear or something? It's always on the front straight when it's
It is.
its terminal velocity.
It is. About the time they bank into the tri-oval here, Scott, you're absolutely right.
But yeah, the gap between 983 and 421 across the line for first and second was only 0.3 of a second, so they're right with each other.
I think if you're the 99, if you know it's happening in roughly the same spot, maybe you just come off the throttle by the time you get into the tri over there and let it coast its way down into the corner. You've got pace everywhere else. The drive off the corners of that car is fantastic, but I honestly don't know that it's going to matter now. Cameron Lawrence does a 206.6. Thunder Bunny's done a 205.9, and GTR is going to have to do 202s, I think, to be anywhere even remotely close.
Just real quick here, guys, before we run out these last 5 laps or so.
Yeah.
The 47 Ginger Racing, 4th in GP1, is catching NFC Motorsports for 3rd in class, consistently running between 4 and 5 seconds quicker. That gap is now down to 13 seconds.
That is the last podium spot in GP1, as you point out, JT. And I think that 47 car has some LEDs on it, so we might actually be able to pick that one up from up here before it gets to the actual start-finish line.
Meanwhile, that swap between the round 3 cars, the fastest car on the track for the last hour or so, the 401, has taken 6th place and pulled away from the 609.
Also watch GP2 battle as well. That gap is down to 8 seconds between Tornwagen, who did pit and came back out ahead of the Core Motorsports Mustang.
11-second gap
Oh,
there ahead of the 606.
Personal best for Cameron Lawrence, 204.682.
If that's torn the fender off the 58, that car would have been done anyway.
Oh, there you go. Where's the 99? Fireworks at the pier. That's a nice touch. Has the 99 had to stop again, or is as much time as it was caught? Yeah, here it is. Oh, it's doing it again. Yeah, it's done it again.
What a
Unless he's just left.
Nope, pulling off again.
Yep. Yeah, this is kind of a problem.
Well,
this is 2 laps in a row.
They will finish 3rd as long as they can keep doing it.
Yeah, no. That is true, and as long as race control is cool with them pulling off every lap between here and the end of the race, it'd be 3
That's a good
more.
point stay, but that's about it.
Yeah.
We'll keep them in the top 35 in those points.
Yeah. They'll hold another provisional.
Surely they have a past champions, yeah.
Wow. Cameron Lawrence is rubbing it in their faces at 204.6. 0.6 faster. Still slower than what even the 421 is capable of. So for the conditions, Cameron Lawrence is wringing the neck out of that car.
Yeah, and I don't think this rain is actually materialized. I think it's just been kind of held off to the north and west of Daytona Beach. We've been at rain starting in 3 minutes now for some time. Pit caller, even at this late hour. Is that the NFC car? I think it's a 120. Hold please.
Yeah.
That might make sense because Ginger's through to third.
Yeah, I think that's the number 123 in for a splash. Welp, that one's resolved itself as well. Holy cow.
The 983 is stretching its legs now.
Yeah.
Solid gap. In fact, that was a really bad lap for 421.
Yeah, it was
I wonder if they've just...
packed
There's
it in.
no pressure from behind. There's traffic, maybe some rain on the way. It's a brand new car. Hey, man, let's just, back off, ride this thing out, and if the guy in front of us is going to make a mistake, he's going to make a mistake anyway. And I think that's a fair way to go about this, especially now that you know the 99 isn't going to be pushing you from behind.
3 of the top 4 came. After all the talk of
BMW GT4s.
Yeah, of all the BMW GT4s.
Well, but
the fastest car on the track right now is still a GT4, a BMW GT4.
In the end, Scott, it was that goofy electronic reliability of the BMW M4s that bit the 99 and took it out of contention. Right, so all of that talk did kind of culminate in that one issue still being the issue.
Eventually, they all went wrong.
It just finally had a consequence for the car that mattered. The 52 never reemerged, by the way. There's a part of me that thinks their pit crew may have packed up down here in the pit lane, and they just said, "Forget it, bring it back. We don't have the stuff we need to change the tire. We'll just call it quits here."
Can you not go over to the next pit box? Hey.
Unless it wasn't a puncture, right?
Yeah,
it was something a little more significant
so,
there. Yeah.
Here's the thing. It is noted there may have been possible contact
between them and the 99.
No, between them and the 86, the 3 fast guys in Denny's.
Oh,
which is the car that we lost. Were those things in succession? Like, did that happen at the same time?
We don't know for sure.
Huh. Well, I mean, did those cars go missing at the same time? I guess I'd believe it, but...
Oh, coming across the line. Core Motorsports moves up in the second, passing the Tornwagen BMW. So that battle is finished up just 3 minutes ago.
The marshal is holding a white flag.
Yeah, we're 3 minutes to go here on our timer. Race Hero says it's about 2:30.
The leader's in the kink, by the way.
Yeah,
that
that'll
makes sense.
Yep. Don't trust our timer. Let's trust Race Hero on this one. We're 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. 348 has a misfire.
Wow. Well, as long as they can get it home. Actually, unfortunately, it's irrelevant because there's so much of a gap behind them. But
Yeah,
they've got
the podium.
Yeah, they put up a great fight.
So the leader going around the outside off of NASCAR 2. Now coming up to the chicane on an ultimate lap.
Yeah, that previous yellow flag at the chicane is obviously being cleared up. So we've got a fully green racetrack, a mostly dry racetrack, and about to start the final tour of the 3.56 mile Daytona International Speedway road course. Cameron Lawrence, fairly sure on board the number 983 car that leads the race overall. Comes off of the banking at NASCAR turn 4, white flag in the marshal's hands. It waves over start finish. And with the 609 from round 3 racing just ahead of it, that pair of GTO cars, the second of which is your overall race leader. Heads off to begin the final lap here with just about 10 seconds in hand over the number 421, who's found a little bit of pace again at 207. But they've both backed off, and I think everybody's kind of conceded that after, our day today, we're only going to get a margin of victory in about 10 seconds. Although, we haven't made it there yet.
That's true.
And after everything we've seen over the last 2 hours in particular, let's not count those chickens just yet. This has been a fascinating day in just so many ways, and having not gotten the day-long race that I think we all deserve for the effort that's been put into it. Boy, howdy, have we got the finish?
Car wide in turn one. I don't know who that was. Don't think it was the this time. Which I don't think that car stopped again. So the drivers figured something out.
No, here it goes.
What's crazy mathematically about this is that we haven't had 14 hours of green running. We've had the race has been in chunks. That's kept the field together. But the car that's going to win started this green flag run over a lap down and was at 1.25 seconds faster than basically anyone else on the track. And they managed to somehow mathematically come together to the point where they're only going to win by 10 seconds.
This is why safety cars don't actually help anything when it comes to making racing better. And I realize this doesn't happen 100% of the time, but it happens often enough.
And when it does, it makes it more
it's been awesome. It's been awesome. Like I said, we may not have gotten the day that we deserve, but we've certainly gotten the race that we deserve. We can pick up the cars coming out of the out of the NASCAR banking at turn 4 there, Gabe. Down the front straightaway for the final time. Checkered flag is in the left hands of the starter. And if we cut to the final camera here, we are going to get the number 983.
There they are.
Across the finish line to complete lap 239 and take the overall race victory in the WRL, slightly less than 14 hours of Daytona, by a scant 10.5 seconds from the number 421 of Thunder Bunny Racing. The most unlikely end to this one has seen a Porsche Cayman 1-2, which is itself a kind of extraordinary result, given the breadth of BMWs in the field, and GTR flying the flag for the M4 GT4s is going to salvage a third place result here, assuming they can make it back around to start finish without having to reset the car again. PB on the what will become the last lap for the number 986.
It did 2 in a row, actually.
Second to last lap.
Second
Just come across
okay.
Yeah. And that'll be one lap off of its stablemate. There it is, cross line. 2:04.5 on the last lap. Just over a minute behind the overall race leader. Congrats to W2W. I mean, that is, and congrats to Cameron Lawrence. That was one of the most phenomenal final stints in a race car I've seen in some time. In mixed and trying conditions, down into the dry where that car was not meant to be as quick as the cars that were around it. Yes, it had some good fortune, but the heavy lifting was all done by Cameron Lawrence in the number 983, and he's earned just about every ounce of that. Back in GP1, 336 from Big Mission, I don't think has fallen out of the lead since about hour 2.
No.
In that class. From the time its stablemate and the number 147 came together and that car inherited the race lead, it's been there or thereabouts. The class winner by 6 laps, ahead of the number 9 from Almonte Motorsports and number 47 from Ginger Racing, who, as we mentioned, was able to get past the number 123, who actually slipped to 5th and handed 4th back to that number 701. That 701 I haven't seen in some time. They led that class for a good period of time and then ended up losing some additional time sometime in the closing hours here. And unfortunately, has dropped that car down to 4th in class. Down in GP2, Harrison Motorsports takes the class win, just comes across the line now, ahead of the 606 from Core Motorsports, who is 21 seconds ahead of the number 348 from Chattanooga Torrenwagen in a battle that did not go the 348's way after that car suffered a misfire and unfortunately had to drop to the 3rd spot on the podium there. Craftsman Auto Care in 4th, the number 407 in the JNR, number 178, a top 5 for that Honda Civic, actually. Congrats to JNR for that. GP3. Says pressing the wrong button. 195 for Overnight Motorsports is your class winner by 4 laps over the 605 from round 3 racing. The oldest car, I think, in that round 3 stable, being brought back out for a couple of rounds, ends up with a second GP3 after 217 laps, excuse me. 9-4 Motorsports finishes 3rd and 4th, the 83 and the 84. 3 fast guys, and Denny slips to 5th after what we think was contact with the number 52 Team ACP late in the running. GTU I'm saving for last, partially because they're at the bottom of the list, and partially because that class winner has not taken the checkered flag. 8 laps is a margin of victory from the 58 back to the 555, and the number 59 team car, the Stratus 59 there in 3rd. Racer Motors finishes 146 laps in 4th and 5th. Of course, the 9-4 Motorsports car that went out early this afternoon seems like ages ago.
I want to really quickly try to hit on championship discussions. We're early, but I think double points race is a big deal. GTO is being one of them being led by the 696 and the 511. Neither one of them did great. So this ends up being a really good result actually for the 421 for Thunder Bunny.
Yeah.
The 983 was honestly hasn't been an entry that's really featured this year. So it's a great result for them, but championship wise, it helps them out, but doesn't propel them into a striking position. Same sort of deal for the 99 as far as I can tell. They've got a 3rd place under their belt, and they will add to that this weekend. Over in GP1, and that's basically the same for the East and the National, for whatever that's worth. GP1 is basically all 3 of our top runners, PC, Moorhead, Edge, either did not show or had really bad runnings today. The 701 would be your biggest beneficiary, and they're all the way down in 4th in the standings. GP2, we've got North Loop and overnight the 196 in the East, and North Loop and Chattanooga and Harrison in the National. So that's going to be interesting because Harrison has obviously made up a decent amount of ground on Chattanooga. That will tighten up the GP2 race in a big way. GP3 will be that's being led by the 197 for overnight, which we saw go out of the race early at the West Horseshoe, and by NRG, who we didn't see. 3rd place, so our next beneficiary, would be the 195 for Overnight Motorsports. Obviously, that's your class winner over the 605. This is, I believe, the first points-paying finish for the 605 in the East. In the National, they're back in 10th, so still kind of a not super helpful for them. I mean, it's helpful, but it's somewhat inconsequential. So, big winner out of GP3 tonight will be the 195 for Overnight Motorsports. Overnight, as this race happens to be. And, oh, good call, JT. I didn't realize that the 197 actually did make it back out and finished in 6th. GTU, this is obviously a big result for the 58. Your GTU winner. They were 11 points behind their teammate. They will make up a decent chunk of that with their win tonight. With that, I'm done with championship talk.
Very good. I don't know that we have a whole lot to wrap up here. Everything kind of came together at the very end, and my experience today at Daytona was all the better for it. Like I said, not the race we deserved day long, but definitely the finish we deserved for everything we've had to put up with from Mother Nature through the course of today. There is a car being recovered from the UNOH sign at Pit Out. I'm not sure who it is. I wouldn't be shocked if it's somebody like the 55 who is very slow through the final stint of today. I'll cut things off there and bring this one to a conclusion so we can go get our cameras with the track staff wrapping up and return all the passes and everything that we need to do as quickly as we can, and we can get back to watching the big race today. It's been Le Mans. It's always Le Mans. It's a fantastic weekend of racing.
Can I give you my final thoughts?
And if you really have something to add, by all means, go for it.
Spare a thought for the 99. They ran an incredible race. Electronics bit them in the behind. That takes nothing away from the amazing final run that the 983 put in to not just pass that car, but also the 421, and also the incredible run in the wet when it was just pouring. That is a car that won that race effectively in the first hour out of that last red flag.
Yeah, I very little to add to that. Thank you to everybody. If we're still going out over the PA and you can hear us down in the paddock, thank you all for putting up with us throughout the course of today. I hope we've added something to your experience down there. If you're around the track, I hope we've added something to you guys out there as well. It's been a thrill to be able to hear ourselves around the circuit and be a part of the experience of being at Daytona. I know it's special for everybody. It's been certainly special for us. I owe my thanks to Scott Michaels to my left, who's flown in to be a part of this one. Joseph Mudrak, of course, joining us throughout the course of today as well. JT Tammy, who slept through 4 alarms and showed up late. And, of course, Gabe Howe on production, putting in the monster stint, 14 hours all the way through to the end of this one. My thanks to all of you for joining us all day today as well, putting up with the pizza talk and the red flags and everything we've had to put up with for what ended up being an incredible finish again at Daytona. We will see you in July from Road Atlanta on DriversEye Live. For Scott Michaels, Joseph Mudrak, JT Tammy, Gabe Howe, I am Brendan Kazmarek. This has been the World Racing League, powered by Hagerty on DriversEye Live. We will see you next time out from Road Atlanta. Bye for now.